welcome to another episode of The Flank, man. I'm joined by Patrick Price, a.k.a. Aches, Chris Duarte, a.k.a. Parasite, and of course, the one and only Mr. Benjay Nassim. Gentlemen, what's going on today, man? Long day of COD, 4 matches, had some good matches. How we feeling, man? Ben, let's start with you. What's going on, bro?
We had a 10-hour stream today. It was a fun one. Was up this morning. Watch some incredible footy this morning, Tom. The Arsenal Villa game was insane. A bunch of other good games. After that, I was watching Tiger play golf today. He was doing a pretty good job. Got
Nice.
a couple under par today, so he's looking fine. But the CDL matches were lit as well. Let's get into it.
Yeah, I'm down. Chris, how are you? How you feeling, man? Feeling all right?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I stayed up last night playing rank play till like 6 a.m. Woke up at degenerate hours, and I just started watching Call of Duty matches. So
Bro, rank play is addicting, Chris. It's every time you level up, you're like, damn, I want to level. I want to keep going. You know?
Yeah, no cap. I don't care if I play cheaters, bro. I just like go again.
And then of course we got Patrick Price, the one and only Pat. How's X Defiant going? How's everything going on in the camp over there?
Good, Tom. The Insider Sessions is still live this weekend, but I've been playing a little bit of that, watching some games, and I actually have some comments about today's game because I think what we saw today from a few of these teams is not what people think, Tom. I think people are getting hyped for the wrong reasons regarding some of these teams, and yeah, I got some comments I want to say about it.
Cool. We're going to go through them. I think before we get through with the matches, I think we should talk a little bit about Toronto Ultra just before we get into some of these matches. Standy gets moved to the bench today. Hixie gets moved into the starting lineup. I think it just caught a lot of people by surprise. What did you guys think about Standy getting moved to the bench? Personally, I don't agree with it. I just don't understand it. I thought Standy was a great player for them. They were in a little bit of a slump. But I thought Ultra was a great team. I thought they just had to, try a little harder in practice, fix some of their mistakes, and get back to their bullshit that they had in the beginning of the year. Not really too sure why they made the change. Pat, let's start with you. Do you agree with the change, or are you confused by as much as I am?
I'm definitely confused. Also, I'm trying. What's the owner's name of Ultra? He tweets a lot.
Who?
Is that it?
Adam Adamu, yeah. He tweeted about
Adam.
this and said...
Oh yeah, Grazin. Yeah.
He was saying that there was like, wasn't any drama that he said it was more of a Charlie.
Yeah, I'm calling cap.
Yeah, you're calling cap on it?
Yeah, I'm calling Supreme Cap because otherwise I don't think they would have made a change. I don't think Standy's been underperforming. I know the team has had three bad matches, literally 3 bad matches. But I'm calling cap on this no drama behind the scenes. Sometimes a change is just a change. And I don't think Hixie has been like some superstar that gets to replace Standy. So I'm calling cap on his post. But that's just my take.
Yeah, Hixie in challengers, he's good, but he's more like a role player. Honestly, though, we don't really know what their practice is like. They probably felt like they weren't making good progress. There's probably some frustrations in the camp, maybe some disagreements in terms of like how they want to play the game, I guess. And it seems like they just weren't meshing with Eli. They were struggling, and that's probably what ended up getting the change done.
Yeah, Ben, what do you think?
Eli, tweeted afterwards a bunch of stuff that he deleted about how he got backstabbed, that he got dropped, and with I think a knife emoji. Like there's just, it doesn't, to your point, Pat, I think we've all been around the scene for a while. And when stuff like this happens, really, a reason that we can think of, if it's not a clear performance issue, is that there's some kind of back end issue with the team, whether, to your point, Chris, practice not good, or there's some kind of chemistry issue that's getting in the way of them getting better. So
yeah, Eli wears his heart on his sleeve, though. Like he's that type of player, so he felt some type of way about obviously being benched. So you got to think there's definitely more to the story than just their recent performing issues. Although some people might be making it out to seem like there isn't, which is unfortunate. But Standy, I think, is a good player. He showed that he's been pretty good this year. So if he doesn't get back on the starting roster for whatever reason, I'm sure multiple teams will probably approach him to see if they can get him.
That's what I was going to say. That was my next question to lead up to is, where does Standy go now? Do you see him staying on the bench? Ben, I already kind of know where I think you're going to go is, Ultra's not really that team that really likes to sell off players like that. They actually like to hold on players. So I'll let you take the floor because we were talking about that a little bit before, but go ahead, Ben.
They've benched quite a few players over the years. Year one, they had 10 players on their roster, and none of those 5 players ever really got sold or released. And then the second year in Cold War, when they dropped methods, like he didn't go anywhere. So this org's never really been like one of those orgs that's sold players on. Obviously, the situation's different. I guess we'll find out. But like the history would say that, he's probably going to be kept on the roster. And I would say likely because they don't have there's no Toronto Ultra Academy team this year, right? They don't have a partnership. No. Yeah, so he's the only other player they have.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens moving forward with the Ultra. We see them play tomorrow, so we'll give our predictions at the end of that one, and we'll get a new look at their new squad. And I wish Standy the best of luck. I think very highly of Standy, man. I think he's a really good player. So, a little bit confused, a little bit surprised. I did not see this one coming, but we'll see what happens, and we'll see where Standy ends up. He might end up back in the starting roster for all we know. Maybe they'll have some doubts, and they'll bring him back in. So we'll see what happens moving on from that one. But I say we start talking about the matches that went through today. Let's start off with the first one. We got Boston Breach going up against the London Royal Ravens, Hotel Hardpoint, Hotel S&D, El Asilo Control, Mercado Hardpoint, and Embassy Search and Destroy. Anything you guys see on the videos before we head into the map one? London, again, we're not able to get the victory as they continue to struggle.
I didn't really know where to pinpoint what maps like either team we're going to play. Obviously, Boston's got the new look with Beans, and then we don't really know anything about this Ravens team, and they haven't looked particularly good at anything. So
they're pretty good at snaking.
Yeah, not really sure.
Because they got broken on the snake pit hill on the end of this game, and they weren't doing any snaking. Except for, you're thinking of the tank snakes on the Mercado Hardpoint? Yeah, nah, they were moving for sure. But I don't know, man. There's something up with this London team, man. I'm just surprised they haven't made any changes, to be honest. I would expect them at this point now to really start thinking about dipping into challengers. Shout out to Chris Parasite. Or maybe just, I don't know, maybe even looking at Standy now. If Standy's on the bench, is that potential for this London roster?
They don't have the money to buy him out. So
and there's no way he's wanting to go there, Ben.
So I think really the obvious change they can make is probably dropping Paul. Like, no disrespect to Paul, I think he's probably the biggest player on the team right now. So that'll be the move, and picking up probably a flex type player again from challengers kind of perspective.
Yeah, I mean, as we go through this map, it was honestly a pretty back and forth map early on. There was a couple mistakes at the end of the map that I really wanted to take a look at. I'm down to go into the listening with London to see how they sound early on, and then we'll take a look at some of the mistakes that I saw.
Deep back kitchen on the brown van, Paul. 2 in time.
On the stairs, absolutely behind this wall.
I need it.
He's behind that wall, he should be there.
Here. He's shouting. One shot now, Paul. Stun him.
Dead.
Nice. 2 in time and then one spawn.
I'm in the back door, yeah. I'm in the back door.
Actually, spawn mid.
Side door fast. Go into the back, Manny, back. That door dead.
Nice, there's 2. We have numbers, just push.
Boxes, tag.
I
have middle, they're all running front. Boxes, really weak. They're all running front, guys. One's in boxes. They're all running front.
My side. I'm on my own. Boxes at a time.
Inside the point. No, I'm dead. There's 2 there. Alright, need to be, bro. He's shot new.
I spawned new.
You knew, yeah?
I'm missing Nero. 3-year-old. I'm in go.
No one's got top bed. No one's got top bed. I only have bottom.
He's going to
hop up top bed, brother.
I'm just playing gold.
Top bed.
One gold to me.
He's top bed. He's
one shot, I choked. He's one shot in gold, okay, Nero.
That was such a big win right there.
Yeah.
See right there, you heard Nasty said, "Damn, I choked in the listening." That was a really big win because Nero took a long route there, and if he wins that one, they probably would have been able to lock down some good time, maybe even lock down those spawns. You can see Boston getting those back spawns. Honestly, they were trading rotations. It got a little hectic. Personally, I thought the comms were a little bit too hectic for my liking. I would have liked to see
a little frantic for sure.
Yeah, and maybe that's why they ended up throwing this map away towards the end. We go into this last hard point of the map, what is this, the P5? I don't know what the hell happened here. You can see London, they get a clean wipe here, right here. Let's just pause it here. How the hell? What the hell?
What the hell?
That's Chris.
Okay.
Oh my god, let me close my door, man.
Chris,
Chris,
Chris, I was actually just about to ask you. And I also see we got a raid from Scump. We got a 13,000 viewer raid from Scump and a raid from Methods. So everybody show some love to the Optic boys, man. Get a wop to get a jack, get a wump, get a wetted. Shout out to everybody over on the Optic side. Hey, huge shout out to you guys, man. I really appreciate the raid, man. Hell yeah, you guys are coming in hot, man.
Let's get in the back of the map.
Yeah,
though.
let's get back into the map. We were talking about how London just threw this away, and I kind of wanted to break this down because right here is a setup that you cannot throw this map away. You're 8 points away from winning. You can kind of see how it falls apart. Asim's going to be the first one who challenges. I would have liked to see Asim hold an off angle there. I mean, just like lay down, maybe watch the cross, put some shots into these guys. Then you could see somebody pinches through mid. Or
They spawned them there, bro.
They spawned them there, yeah. So it's a clean wipe. Asim goes down. One guy spawns in the middle of the map. I mean, Chris, how the hell does that even happen right there?
It's because Asim pushed up Dub. So as soon as he was there, he blocked that spawn. That's why the number 2 spawned, and then as soon as Asim died, number 4 spawned behind number 1.
Is that a normal spawn right in the middle?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, you get that spawn if you like try to push out like shop.
That's just like pretty interesting to me, man. Because I felt like even like Asim dies, he dies first, and then he spawns up.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
like
weird timing.
he wasn't like he ended up dying. I don't know. It was just really weird that he got that mid spawn. And then he ends up pinching through mid. Nobody watches it because maybe they just didn't see it coming. But they were all looking at the same direction. Everybody from Paul, everybody from London is just looking the same way. I mean, you got to peep the mini map here and pick up mid. And we talked about this yesterday. A really good way to break this hill is coming through mid cut and kind of punching from different angles. I mean, somebody has to turn there, maybe throw some tacks there and pick up mid map. It was just a brain fart, in my opinion. Just a complete collapse.
Yeah, it is a brain fart. But Hotel at the same time is one of those maps where like some of these hills, Tom, are the spawns like you get a lot of like real like splits, and it's very frustrating. I'm sure they probably didn't expect a guy to be there so quick, and if that player didn't spawn there, they probably win the map outright. But at the same time, I mean, I guess they definitely have to make sure that they watch it.
Yeah,
but
they just didn't watch it.
Oh,
I mean,
dude, that's rough.
It's a rough, and I mean, this is the first map as well. And then they have a couple opportunities to break the hard point. I would have liked to see somebody, because you have the time, maybe take a long route, like maybe try and flank kitchen. I mean, what do you guys think about that? You think taking a long route here is good? Do you like the way they tried to flood through mid? I just feel like if you have time here to make a play and to take a route, somebody should maybe take a route here.
I hate the flooding through mid. That's just, you're just flooding through one angle where they're just gonna have all
And
the
Boston, unlike London, is watching it.
I think what you do on that break for the most part is if you're going to pinch out and work through mid, you kind of want to send the majority of your manpower through like the double arches and maybe have like one guy pinch kitchen. But like when you're actually hitting the connector, which is where they opted to hit, and they sent multiple people there, you only really have to have one person play there. And all he does is he keeps them honest from peeking their side of the rug while the other people work into the front of the dub like door. And like they just sent the majority of their manpower through one small door and died. Like it, I don't know.
And then even right here, when Nasty gets this kill, I feel like he has to hit a go button fast. I feel like Nasty needs to hit this, man. As soon as he gets the kill, just go. Just go. Try and get another guy one shot and just work trades, because you don't have a lot of time left. I know they ended up getting stunned towards like the end of that, like the very, very end. A stun grenade comes in and slows them down. Actually, I think Nasty got stunned as well, so maybe he was stunned there. My apologies. Maybe he was stunned, but from the mini map, you can't really tell. And I was like, what the hell is going on? But Pat, maybe a little collapse there from the London Royal Ravens.
It was more than a collapse, Tom. It was a royal breakdown.
Breakdown.
A little royal breakdown.
Listen, I wanted to go back because Ben, you said that you think London should drop Paul. I am on the like view that I don't think this London team should ever make a one-man move ever again. If they're gonna make a one-man move, you might as well keep the team. Like this needs to be a multi-person change. Otherwise, I just don't see this team being successful. Period.
I don't think that's that off base of a take. I agree with you. I think they're a couple pieces away. I just thought my point was I think Paul's the one player that's the most obvious change. But to your point, you know, they might need
like if Paul scraps.
Plus,
if Nasty can stay consistent, keep him like.
I mean, listen. From my understanding, the organization doesn't have the funds to make changes. At least
not even challenger players.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I just don't.
Like they can still drop. Like they don't even have to keep him on the bench. Like they technically have the ability to just fully terminate, and then get another challenger player for the same or even less cost. I imagine most of these guys are on the min on this team, but
yeah, I'm not really too sure what's going on in that camp. But in the meantime, they're sticking with their roster. Let's get into the hotel search and destroy. Some ankle breaks coming in from a couple rounds from the London Royal Ravens. Ben, I know we were watching this one back, and I actually kind of like that London's kind of switching it up a little bit. They're showing B, and then they're just rotating over towards A. They're able to win this first round by doing just that. Tank actually looked pretty good in this series. He was doing his thing. And then we get into the second round. This is a little 2v4 from Nasty and Paul. Good plays out of Paul here. He gets pushed up couch. He's able to find a kill. think he ends up jumping a corner here and taking out another one in Beans, and then it leaves Nasty in a little 1v2 situation. He pops that dead silence, gets aggressive. He's going to find one. Then he picks up that Scar as well, which is a good play to him because he tags up Nero and ends up rushing him here for that W in this round. And then we see another ankle break out of London in this round. Just showing B, right? Like stacking over towards the B side, making noise. You know they hear you too. Like if you're kitchen and you're stomping over here and you're making all this noise, you know, everybody from Boston's going to rotate over for the most part. So I really like the calls from London. They actually kind of just steamrolled right through this S&D. Looked pretty comfortable from them. Ben, what were your thoughts on the Search and Destroy?
No, I thought this was a good map from London. You know, Boston, I think especially in Search with Beans probably should be a little better in this game mode. They obviously, we'll talk about last map in a bit, but they struggled with this one. And weirdly enough, I'm pretty sure they got first blood in the majority of the rounds. You guys looked up, they got 6 of the first bloods and only won 2 rounds, which is not, I mean, you know, it happens sometimes, but obviously you want to win your 4v3s. I'm doing a good job to your point breaking ankles, which we're always a big fan of that on this show.
Yeah, I just like how they kind of keep Boston on their toes. I mean, Chris, I feel like when you do stuff like that, it's just really hard to keep track of. You know, like
yeah, this map reminds me a lot of how like Moscow played in Cold War, how like a lot of people just like to kind of like get control of like a side of the map or like around mid map, and they just rotate, like quick rotate. And I feel like a lot of teams are kind of playing to that style now instead of just blindly hitting one bomb site and just trying to spread the defensive team thin.
What about you, Pat? Ever do that in the complexity days? Break ankles in S&D? Little left and right action?
More than just the complexity days, Tom. The whole career is just you know me.
It's typical out of Patrick Slay. But let's keep it going. This is actually the only round, the only other round that Boston was able to win. After this, it was pretty much chalked after this one. Wasn't really too I didn't really like this play from Vivid too much. He actually tries to go rogue in this round. He had to push into through the spawn on defense. I just feel like if you're on defense, you don't really need to make a play like that. You know, you have the advantage. You have the time to your favor. Just make them plant the bomb. He ends up getting Sound Horde trying to flank around the back. So, you know, people are bumping those headsets. Then we get into the next round. This is where Asum, he was actually able to win a big 1v1 here. It was between him and Nero. And it was Nero who gets that bomb down. But Asum, he's reading it. Bomb goes down. Asum wins the gunfight. They're going to keep this one going. And then this next round, this is where Beans actually hits a really nice snipe for the first blood. But after he gets his first blood, it was Nasty who makes the play. He ends up getting a big 2-piece in this one. Finds one, jumps the corner, finds another one. Nasty actually had a really good series. I know they didn't win the series, but Nasty's been pretty good for London. He hasn't been too bad. What do you think, Ben? I see you nodding your head.
I think he's been
all right, but today he looked good.
But today he was a massive impact player for them and probably their best player in the series. And I listen, you know, I've been a fan of Nasty amongst all of the chaos here. I've thought that he's of a decent gap fill on the team. I just think, you know, he doesn't. This is the first time we've seen him have kind of a takeover series to an extent like this. But was making a lot of plays in Search, and the nice thing I like about this London team as well is, you know, how balanced they are in terms of how they feature players in S&D on their strats.
Yeah.
And how they fill the map. And this is overall a really good performance for them, considering the absolute choke job they had in map 1.
Yeah, you can see Scraps on that scoreboard, 10-5. He had a really good map. Scraps is really going off in this one. 7-5 from Nasty. Everybody else negative, and then on the other side, everybody negative except for Reese Vivid from Boston. Any final thoughts on a map 2 as we head into the control, gentlemen?
London's actually been pretty strong at this map. This is a map I feel like we see them play a lot, and they usually have some decent success on it. So I mean, I'm surprised they got in their map pool, but I mean, London in general, we don't know what to expect out of these guys, like, at all.
I do. I know exactly what to expect, Chris.
Did you think they were gonna go map 5?
I mean, no, but I'm not surprised that they do, if that makes sense.
Gotcha.
And then we get into the next one. We get an LSC low control. This one was pretty much all over after the second round. The first defense, obviously, Boston was able to hold on pretty strong. And they worked some stacks here. I mean, Chris, in your opinion, what's the best way to get onto this B point? After you cap A, I feel like A is pretty much that point that everybody gets off the rip. And then it's this B point that gives people a hard time. What do you think is the best way? Play through white, play through mid? I feel like definitely playing kills around the point is the most important part.
Well, yeah, once you actually can get pushed up around, like I think like the main catalyst to like when teams get control of this B side is the closet tools. It's like right outside of the B point, the small room to the left of it.
Yeah.
Anywhere around that area is just a massive power position for like finding routes and getting underneath these players that are around the top of the party area or like top AC, which are some of the power spots people like to play. But personally, this map, this map frustrates me as a player. It's not as bad as like a fortress control, but it's kind of glorified hide and go seek, and with the sound meta that the players are playing with right now, like I can imagine it gets really frustrating to play. But I mean, you just got to get mid-map control and try to like find routes to close the gap between the field.
Yeah,
That's
I agree.
Pretty much the gist of it.
In my opinion, I feel like it's all mid-map. Like get mid-map, get like this top rails area. Like if you can get these kills mid and get top rails, maybe work some spawn kills and just funnel a team into like a corner of the map, then you can work some stacks. Because if you get a wave of kills while you're pushed up like this, that's where you can hop the point, stack it, and get the dub. And that's exactly what Boston did. They get middle control, they get field control, they push through front, they push through mid, they get all the kills and kill feed all green there. And they were able to actually win this one with a clean day. You can see how fast this point actually goes up when you have everybody on it. Actually, they got 3 guys on it. And it's still moving at the speed of light. So just really good coordination from Boston. I thought this was a good round from them. I mean, Ben, what did you think about this round? Clinical from Boston Breach.
Bro, we talk about how bad Vegas is in this game mode, and we'll talk a little bit of Optic as the other bottom 3 team. But bro, London are horrific at control, man.
Yeah, they're terrible. At
They're just really lost in this game mode, and Boston was running circles, especially Nero around them the entire map all 3 rounds.
22 and 13 from Nero. He's been so good for Boston. He's been like that guy for them. Just feel like it's the pressure he has on the map, and he's also just a really talented player. Like he just wins a lot of gunfights that he shouldn't be winning. You know,
he's been getting a lot more consistent, Tom. Like he used to have a lot of stinkers with a lot of high engagements, but he's getting a lot better at transitioning those pressure plays into like kills as well.
Yeah, really good plays. Go ahead, Pat.
I was gonna say it kind of makes me mad because like Asilo is literally the only control map that's 50-50. All the other maps are either like Fortress is defense dominated and Hotel is offense dominated. So it's literally the only 50-50 map. And the fact that you get 3-0'd,
yeah,
that's horrible.
3-0'd. They didn't even win a defense, which you know, it is what it is. London, they get bopped in the control. Then we go to a Mercado Hardpoint. I'm going to bring us to the P4. This is where London was able to get a pretty good hold here. I just like how they get here early. They get to this back alley early. They get those P2 spawns. You want to get those P2 like hut spawns. You want to try and rotate there. And that's what they did. They get there fast. They work some trades in this hard point. I don't know how Vivid didn't see Paul tucked in his corner, but he gets one there. And then this is where London was pretty much able to hold on. They get a big hold here, and then going into the P5, they work a really good break, which is where they were able to extend their lead. You can kind of see how they were able to set it up. I love the plays from Asum because he takes the long route early and gets there pretty fast, and he just plays his life. He doesn't try and rush anything. He doesn't just jump into the point. He just waits. His teammates are across the map. It's always important that you do stuff with your team, do stuff together. You can see how Asum just kind of plays patient here, waits for his teammates to get pushed up on a map. And that's exactly how they were able to break this one. Asum, once his teammates get close, he works the kills. He puts some shots into some players, and bada bing, bada boom. They break right into the hill, and this is where they were able to extend it. I know Boston was able to bring it back a little bit, but just good breaks from London. I thought that was a pretty clinical break for me. What did you guys think right there?
I mean, it was a good play by Asum, but I also think it's a
Boston
fault of
messed up.
Boston.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel like with them being on rotation and that London was basically getting the scrap time, they should know that Asum's basically outnumbered here, or he's basically alone. And they kind of just let him sit here, which is creating space for his teammates to like rush in advance. If they take Asum out, London have to work for that space again, which is going to make it way harder to break.
Scared here.
Yeah, they just let him sit there when like Beans and Awakening could have like tried to work him. Like he's literally alone for so long.
And he was tagged. They tagged him up too. They knew where he was.
Yeah,
you know, I agree, Chris. I agree. Maybe a little bit of a misplay. What do you think, Pat and Ben? What do you think there?
I mean, this is a map that Boston, I think it's clear they're trying to get into the pool. They haven't played it a lot this year. And I think what we've complained with a lot of Mercado teams is like everybody can rotate, people don't hold. I think Boston really struggles, and I don't know if it's communication or just the issue that happens with this team sometimes where their subs kind of overheat a little bit and just kind of push stuff out and kind of break their setups. They just do a really poor job of maximizing the time they get when they early rotate, and you just get punished on this map when you get broken.
Going into the P5, I mean, it was the same exact thing, or excuse me, the P6. Check this out. Boston, they get here early. They have everything on lock. They have tunnel. They have back alley. They literally have everything. They waltz through tunnel. Asim's gonna waltz through tunnel. He's gonna find one, and then I like the reroute from him. He's gonna back up. Scraps get taken down, but the trades come in from back alley, and look at the pinch coming in from London. They swarm on into this hill. The Boston Breach players spawn out, and that's going to work the break from them.
I
Go
don't
ahead,
understand
Pat.
why they don't copy the Thieves setup on this map. Like, you remember when Sam was just posted on the balcony, just literally going on like kill streaks, just watching this? Like, like why is that person watching back alley, and why is the person sitting on the number? I think it was 4 watching mid. That makes no sense to me.
Asim shouldn't be able to just waltz through tunnel like this. You know what I mean?
Is that Beans up top?
It's Beans.
Like that's a free kill. Like literally a free kill.
I think the worst part about it is Nero has a sub and he's playing like a
weird off
angle when he could just play a tight angle. And on top of that, they had the guy in hill, which is obviously he can't really watch much. He can only the guy in hill should always be watching the bush side, because there's no if the guy in hill's not watching bush, he's basically useless. Like, he's not looking at anything else. Instead, there's 2 players that are outside of the hill that are watching the cut that the player in hill should be watching, while the other players stack the other lanes.
My point is just they get a perfect rotation. Like, just do the best setup, and if that's their best setup, then they need to.
I mean,
reevaluate. They got to reevaluate. And that's 3 hills now that London broke. 3 of them. Go ahead, Chris.
The guaranteed in the setup should always be this guy that plays in the hill should be looking out those windows, looking at where London is coming from currently.
Yeah, he's the hardest person to kill.
Instead, it's not even that he's hard to kill. It's like, if he's not watching that, he can't watch anything else. Like, he's useless on the map. So why the hell are they allocating players to watch that lane for him?
Yeah,
they should have stacked something else.
We listen to our comms real bit, Tom. I'm curious. I want to hear the organizers setups.
Yep, let's go into the Boston Breach listening. Let's see how they sound.
Back out. I'm gonna chip. I'm gonna try to go get it. One's close. Be on the wall. Mid-heady and barber.
Yeah, there's 2 there.
Huh? Mid-heady barber and hill.
On the wall.
Okay.
House is close to me.
I'm trying to go back out.
Close to me, 1 shot.
We're going low.
He's hitting. I don't know. There's like 3 of them. Alright, take house.
Yeah, they might be on us already. It's still barber.
He's short sun, right corner.
Yeah, short got away. He's on me.
Yeah, he's in the right corner. Right in the right corner. He wasn't good.
Hold on. Can you go banana? Go back corner. Go. I don't want.
Might run me.
He's dead.
Short. He's ready.
There's not
I'm getting wallbang.
I'm saying hi. Anything. They could be on you. Yeah.
He wants to take me on me. Make cut.
I get your tunnel. Top house. Going back probably. Let's wait back. Yeah.
We have a short.
I'm only short. I'm 1 shot. Alright, he's weak. Nice, another one. Tunnel 1 short. 2 tunnel 1 short.
Corner hill.
Okay, I spawned back alley again. Yeah, I'm gonna go dark though. Banana. He's sitting banana watching. Barber Chuck, banana hill, and waiting for 1.
He's not above Charles. He's many, I think. Can he come?
Can't see him. I was thinking, he's shouting up. He's dead. Dude, that's his banana. Only 1 hill.
All right, bro. Can I start things off? Did that sound? Am I the only one that I barely understand them? Are they yapping like crazy, or is it just me?
Yapping.
I felt like they were yapping, bro. Like, I just feel like it's so hard to actually focus on what the objective is and what the goal is, and
There was also like 0 small talk. I felt like it was just spam calls.
Spam calls over and over again.
They had small talk when it was slow, but you also need small talk when things are a little bit fast. You can make those quick decisions. I think that's a good point, Pat.
I mean, I just feel like if you're gonna listen, go back to these listenings. I feel like Boston should go back and listen to this, because if they clean up their comms a little bit, I think it'll help them out a lot. Just make it more clearer. Don't call something out 20 times, just especially somebody who's just in like a godheady or something, he's there. Just call him out once or twice, don't spam it, because you can't hear what everybody else is saying. You're kind of flooding the comms.
Yeah.
And then Chris, you agree with me on that?
Oh, 100%. Like, I'm not a fan of hectic comms at all. I really feel like my brain turns off but a lot of the time it just comes around from the small talk. Like, for example, if when Awakening was really like, oh, scraps mid cut. Like, if somebody was like, I hear you, like, he probably would have stopped. So I don't know. They're just all spam calming.
I
There's
don't
not a
mind
lot of small
energy in
talk.
comms. Like I don't mind energy. Like even Atlanta FaZe, right? Like sometimes they seem pretty hectic, but it just seems more. It just seems a little bit more clear than what I just heard. Like what I just heard seems.
Yeah,
Like, I couldn't
100%.
even understand. Like the first minute, I couldn't even understand what they were saying. I didn't even know what the hell was going on. And then we go into this one. You can see Scraps at the end of this one. Boston, they bring it back a little bit, but after getting broken on 3 hills, you could kind of see how London was able to close this one out. Scraps, he snakes for the 3-piece at the very end. So some pretty tippable snakes coming out of Maddie. We'll take a look at the final scoreboard. Everybody negative from Boston. They really struggled in the slaying department in this one, except for Beans, of course, 20 and 18. On the other side, great map from Asim, great map from Scraps, Nasty, Paul. They're all positive. They're all doing what they got to do. Any final thoughts on the map 4 before we head in to the map 5? Any thoughts?
To the point of how a lot of vetoes end up against the breach, it comes down to whether or not they want to play Fortress against certain teams or MSC against certain teams. So I see why they want to play Mercado. They need to. There's one of the maps I'm curious to see how they improve over the course of this major, because it's gonna. If they can figure it out, it's gonna help them a lot. I think when they get to land.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then we hop into the last one. This was a map 5. I already see Pat, he's got the memes going, but we know Boston has struggled with their map 5s. They've been very, very bad. I'm not sure, Ben, if you have the actual record of their map 5s.
They were 0-6 before this.
0-6 map 5. So it was cool to see them come out and finally get a W in this one. I know that Nero talked about it a little bit in the interview, but he thinks having a sniper on the team really helped, like having somebody who can work picks and kind of scare people off. First round comes in. One thing I gotta say, well, Nasty starts off with a 2-piece grenade, so that was always good. I thought London was gonna run away with this, but listen, man, Nero did this every single round. I was watching this in the TS with some former COD pros. I think Slack was in there. And some other guys, and listen, we were getting really frustrated watching this. I always talk about this in Search and Destroy. You have to adapt midway through the game. If you know what a team's doing every single round, you can't just let them keep doing it every single round. You have to adapt to it. You have to change as you go. And it just seems like London go into a Search and Destroy with a game plan, and they just stick to the game plan the whole time, which I think is terrible. If the game plan's not working, you have to adapt to what the other team is doing. They don't even check this mid alley where Nero was laying down for like 3 or 4 rounds. Like Nero just gets free kills. Paul just kept trying to dive across to get the bomb down.
Paul would dive across
kills
and not look to, like, you know, we've seen people yeet out window, land on planner, and that way you kind of 180. Like they weren't even trying that. He would try to get the instant dive across and try and lay bomb quickly, and they're not even ever checking mid alley. And there's no one with Boston, you know, either leaning out the window or chilling with him to check it. It was ridiculous, Tom.
Yeah, it
Like
was
4 offenses in a row.
just no adaptation. I mean, Chris, what did you think? I felt like Nero, he's just doing whatever he wants in the middle of the map.
I mean, yeah, I think Ravens were just kind of playing a little bit like scared in their spawn a little bit too much. They should have probably thrown in some like other rounds like towards like A, to maybe like try to like shift Nero away from the play. But I mean, I feel like Boston was just kind of doing whatever they wanted this map.
You know what it reminded me of? It felt like London took the Seattle playbook. Like they somehow got their hands on the Seattle playbook in S&D and just tried it out.
No way. I mean, at least Seattle got.
Yeah, my bad.
At least Seattle won an S&D today, Pat. Thank God, right? I mean, I think they're what,
Thank
like
God,
1 and
they were
13.
Dude, the Rokkr that I saw today might have been the worst CDL team I've ever seen in my life.
Pat, I think. Do you remember when Seattle did this same exact terrible strat that London does right here? I'm highlighting this round right here, bro. Paul jumps out onto the B site again with no help. There is legit nobody there. He's by himself with the bomb, just like running around the site. Nero's able to kill him off the bomb site. And just look at where the rest of London is. Look where they are. There's just no teamwork. There's just nothing here. And I remember, Pat, what Seattle when Mac jumped out the window and nobody was there, and like Seattle was just like this is the same exact play. This is the same exact thing.
Well, to be fair, Paul did insta die. Like if he gets onto that bomb and like he gets stunned, like he should have been like throwing some snakes. He just like insta died. So he doesn't even give his team like a time to react. So I mean, granted, you might think he has no help. Like he has a guy top window. Like
but
as soon
what's
as
the
they
game
get
plan, Chris? What's the game plan?
I mean, I'm not saying it's
what I
ideal.
mean?
I'm saying like he insta died. So it's like even if he like had help from like alternative positions, he didn't even give them time to do so.
You don't have to, like, I mean, you probably agree. We've seen like phases. You don't have to always insta dive across B off the every round you play on this map.
You know,
like you can set it up and double chow or throw nades, try and work a pick middle, but they're just doing the same shit over and over and over, and they're playing every round 3v4.
Listen,
It's really hard to win offenses on this if it's 3v4 and your bomb guy has that shit fucking down by B.
Nero shouldn't be able to lay down in the middle of the map with no cover and get a kill without being traded. Period.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I agree with you.
What happened,
Game
Ben?
is stun check.
No stun check. No nothing.
No, they did stun check him. Scrap stunned him off the rip of the map of the round
what are
that
they
time.
doing?
round?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, yeah, he did. He did
watched
hit him.
it.
Yeah,
he
hit him.
stunned him.
He hit him with a stun. I don't know. Was it? Did he hit him? Yeah, he did. He hit him.
Nah,
I
that's
don't
even
understand.
crazier.
I don't know. And then Paul, he tries to throw a stun. I don't know what happened there.
Wait, actually, he stunned him, and I think Paul went to Chow, and then like
Yeah, Paul
got
with a stun.
re-stunned. Yeah, he got re-stunned, and then like he just lost the fight. Like Nero just shit on him.
Yeah, and then we go we just go on for the rest of these rounds on this offense. Boston just works picks. They just spread the map. This is where Beans was just hitting some snipes. Good plays from Beans. He was actually really good with the sniper in this one. He's actually a really good sniper in general. He was popping
Yeah, I
hella
told
snipes
you,
and
man.
challenges. Yeah.
I got one other thing, Chris. Did you like watch this back now? Do you notice that off the rip, London never tried to contest the guys watching A Street Cross? Like they never tried to get to White Van or P2 and try and like push these guys from watching across and try and like keep them honest today. They were just pushing up Xbox P2 every single round on defense.
Yeah, no, it's
Getting all this
stupid. It's
information,
stupid. Yeah.
And,
That's what I'm saying. I said it earlier. I'm like, dude, they're not making these players shift. They're not making these players look away. They're making it so they trap themselves on the top, like on the top right corner of the mini map, and then they're just like running out into pre-aims. Like you got to spread these guys thin. If they're gonna get pushed up, you got to make it so they look away.
Yep.
Because otherwise, even like you saw it in the round before, after Paul died, they peeked out the windows. They peeked out of bathroom doors to like get the kills, and they would get the kills but get insta trade, and that's because they're all just looking over each other like they're in a conga line.
You can see Nero, he was able to close out with a 2-piece from the same spot once again. They don't look at it. He ends up shooting Paul right in the back. I think Nasty ended up getting shot by a couple guys at the end of that one there. So big plays out of Nero. Take a look at the scoreboard. 10-3 from Beans. Good to see the newcomer coming to the roster, making a play. Any final thoughts on the series before we head into the next one?
You saved my fantasy.
Hey, Beans, you got because yesterday he had a rough one.
Listen, I think for Boston in general, and we really talk about it in that search, Beans is a very good island player. He's very unpredictable. He's going to always stay alive, going to try even get a pick with the sniper. I know it wasn't super successful on the hotel, but on Embassy, he was keeping them super honest on the other site when they tried that one time rotating over. I think it's going to really, really improve their search game because he's just got a different playstyle than Zen does.
Yeah.
Yep, and then we head into the next match. Obviously, the first match was a pretty long one. Went to a game 5. We had a few delays. This one, not so long. We had the Atlanta FaZe going up against the Florida Mutineers. Embassy Hardpoint, LSCLO S&D, LSCLO Control, Fortress Hardpoint, Hotel S&D. I'll let you guys talk about the vetoes, but man, let me tell you something. This was not a good matchup for Florida's first match. I know they're a new team, but they played a well-oiled machine today. I mean, Pat, we'll kick things off with you as we head into the first map, Hardpoint. There's a few things I highlighted. Simp goes crazy in a couple of these hills. But what do you think happened to Florida today? Just a tough matchup for their first match, or do you think FaZe outclassed them? I mean, what do you think happened?
I mean, I don't think anything happened to them. I mean, listen, I like some of these guys on Florida, but like, were we really expecting them to like be a,
I actually don't mind this roster. I kind of like this roster.
It's a tough team to play like your first match as a roster.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say.
But there's like 6 teams I could name that like would have been a tough team for them to play. Like I don't know.
I don't think the roster's bad.
They got smoked.
They got smoked. I don't think the roster's as bad as you're making it out. And I think even on this map at times, like Cap from this hill on, like he was in a little bit of a takeover mode for about a minute and a half, 2 minutes. Like I think this roster has a little bit more about it in respawn and should be as good in search. But again, playing your defending Major 2 champions coming off that dub and they're kind of on that winner's side. Like this is just a really tough draw for Florida.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. They're just a new team, bro, and they're playing against like a core 3 of players that have been playing together for years, and they just came off a major win. So I didn't expect them to look competitive in this series at all. But I mean, there was times in the match where I'm like, oh wow, these guys aren't like completely trolling. But then there's other times on the map where they're still stemming from, you know, their system issues where like they can't break hills because they're going in 1-by-1, or there's times where they just look like they don't have a game plan, and they're not even getting kills. They're not even making it to the point where it comes down to a 1v1 for a hill break. They're just getting like pieced on their hill break. So they'll probably look better against some other teams, but I mean, only time will tell. I mean, it's just a tough draw for them.
What a streak from Simp here, huh? In a P5, he goes insane. I don't know how he was able to stay alive in that one. I don't even know what the hell he was able to do. Somehow, some way, he was able to finesse his life and pick up streaks and just go absolutely crazy. So he ends up bringing it back a little bit for FaZe there, and then we head into the next rotation. FaZe locked down to P2, but it was a clean P3 break from them. I think it was Slasher who ended up finding like a couple kills, like over towards that ladder side. I just feel like this AC hill is a hill where Florida needs to lock this down. It's a really hard hill to break. I don't know how they got pieced up here. Slasher beat somebody's ass. He finds two, and then yeah, that opens things up a little bit. Florida, they all push out towards ladder, and then the streak comes in from Simp. They flood onto this hill, and then this is where FaZe was able to chain a couple hills. I know Florida was able to bring it back a bit, but that was a big break for Atlanta FaZe.
Them being pushed up ladder though is not like a bad play, because ideally you want to have it. They just got pooped on. That's all it is. They had the right idea. They just didn't execute it at all. Yeah,
no execution there. But Florida did bring it back. They are a new team, so I do want to go into the listening and see how the boys in the Florida Mutineers sound.
So, I'm not watching his office. He's top orange. He's top orange of time. One top orange, one at a time. He's behind AC. Behind AC. One black box. One black box. Looking for you, top office. Three. We're missing one. He's in time. They're gonna spawn office on you. Spawn office on you. We sure? Yeah. Side door office. Got him. Got him. I got one. Slasher. Yeah, we're looking for Austin. He's probably top. Okay. No. Maybe I'm top right now. I got initial. I'm getting P2 information. I have all your front hall. One's coming left. I have the back cross. I have all the back. He hit your S2. Okay. S2 dead. Nice, that's him. I got him on both. I'm gonna flank P2. Cell and a BZ. A BZ cell. One S2, I think. Yeah, dead. I have all right, but he's top. I'm all right. I don't have your S1. I do not have your S1. No. You can. Okay, no, I'm just gonna hold him. Still top. He's holding top. They're hitting left. Nothing went right. Yeah. He's hit. Hold on. Okay, get your back door. Hall 2. No, back door to graffiti. I have hall 1. One shot at BZ. He's not planner. Back door. Austin, back door. Gotta get together. One's S1. Yo, I heard that. Framing. I'm trying to sign on me. I got one time. I have your S1. One more sign on me. To the back. Sign dead. Two. They're gonna spawn out. P2. No, top office. S1 stairs. Celium. You got S1. We're missing one. We're missing Slasher. Yeah, we need to go do this. To the back first. Nice, good job. One's hallway. He went from laundry. Multiple new on me. I got one more new on me. Two in red. There's two in red. They know we're spawning here. I'm gonna go. One's laundry. Pushing you out now. Remember, let's funnel them through P2.
Yeah, and then this is kind of where FaZe pretty much just roll away with this one. They get another big hold on the P5s. This is a hill that Florida really struggled on. They just weren't getting here early enough. I know the first rotation they got pooped on by Simp, but a few plays here or there where they weren't able to get kills, and the talent from Atlanta FaZe, you're able to pick up a couple 2 pieces and lock down some time. I felt like Florida had a pretty respectable map 1. And I thought the listening sounded great. I thought they sounded really good in the listening. It was a lot more calm than what we just heard from Boston, and I just felt like they were having a conversation with each other, and it sounded a lot better. But what did you
that's
think?
What I'm saying though, Tom, is like they were making it competitive. They were basically tied going into this hill, and then like if you see the arrows on the mini map, they just like go in and challenge like the area that FaZe is in one by one. Like they could have orchestrated their push way better. Like got together, threw all their tacks in that room. Like look how tight FaZe was playing. They were all in red or the hill. Like instead they're just doing shit solo. Like they need to wait for each other. But I mean, after that, it was just a steamroll for the rest of the map by FaZe.
This is my problem though with this team like Florida, and it's not like it's just them. Like we've seen teams like this before, where like they can keep a game competitive for the first 70% of the match, and then the last 30% we just get a different team. Like I don't know what it is, but it's like maybe it's like a star power thing, or just like a experience thing where like it's mixy for a majority of the game, and then when it comes time to winning, it just doesn't happen. Like to your point, Chris, like how they played the last 2 hills, it's just like flood. Yeah, their comms sounded much better than I think we've heard from a lot of other teams, but it's like if the gameplay at the end of the game is not going to be like the icy finish the game thing you need to have as a team, then it just doesn't matter.
Yeah, and it happens a lot. Ben, I'll let you go in just a second. It happens a lot where the first half of the game, I always feel like when it goes into a second set of rotations, not always, but a lot of the times, especially even yesterday, the game's always tied. It's always the second set of rotations, like the later half of the game, where people really start making mistakes. And I think that just comes down to composure, to be honest. I think the teams that are more composed and aren't too hectic and make the right plays at the end of games are the better teams. You know, those are the teams that go on to win, like, those are the championship caliber teams, is what I'm trying to say. But, yeah. Ben, go ahead.
I mean, I think Capsule could potentially be that kind of player for them. I mean, he's got that. We saw it, you know, last game in Vanguard, he had that takeover potential in the beginning when he was on Boston before he got dropped. And he actually had like one really good series when he filled in for Thieves. So I think he can be that guy. Again, I just don't want to like chalk this team up after playing the defending champions in one series, you know?
Yeah, nah, I get you there. Any final thoughts, Ben, or anybody on the map one?
I mean, I just think their system is still going to be an issue. It's going to take some time to develop. Like, they have the right idea on some of these plays, they're just engaging at the wrong times. Like, whenever they were trying to break that kitchen hill, for example, they were challenging the red room before the players in the hill even challenged like the back door. Like, they're just doing things at the wrong time. And I feel like, to Pat's point, it, like, when it gets towards the ends of the game, like, they kind of get lost in the moment and they like forget like the essence of teamwork, I guess.
Yep. No, agreed. It's always the second half, because I'm telling you, I write down notes every day, and every time we go into a second set, it's always tied. They're just trading rotations. Like, everything looks fine for the first set, and then every time we go into the second half of the game, things really start hitting the fan. That's where things really get hectic. So it's those mid-game adjustments that some teams are just really good at, and some teams are just really, really bad at. And then we head into the S&D. We got an LS CeeLo S&D. Florida win the first round, and Atlanta FaZe win 6 straight. I mean, one player that I really want to highlight in this one is Slasher. I just think Slasher went absolutely crazy. We know Slasher likes to play like that spread the map, get picks type of play style and search and destroy. I can already see Pat. He's passing out because this series was from here on for the second and third map, it was pretty much a bloodbath. We're not going to spend too much time on it. We're going to scroll through it, but
I did want to call out FaZe is now tied for the they have 8 S&D streaks, tied third all time. The record is 10 by, of course, Austin's little miracle run at stage 2. Yeah,
what a good team.
And also Ultra and Cold War. But yeah, I don't know, I hate giving credit to Austin S&D because it's like, I know how much better I am than him at this mode.
Here we go.
But they are on a little streak. So
don't let Pat fool you. Pat literally sends 3 of his teammates to one side of the map, and he just goes and plays the other.
Plays an island.
And
it's the same thing Slasher does. He does the same thing.
And somehow ends with like a 13 bomb 2.0 with a 6-2 dub every time.
I got Pat's entire playbook written down, bro.
And yet no one could ever count.
Yeah, look what Austin said.
You're not fooling me. I'm familiar with your game.
Austin said, where do you think Pat got it from? Slayer, are you copying Austin's routes?
Yo, just think about this. Who got Austin his first chip ever, and who was smoking him for years before that?
Okay.
If Slasher was on the show right now, he would have literally said, and I quote, "I've been doing this." Like, dude, that's literally what he says, dude.
Well, speaking of been doing this, you know, Abeezy's been the first blood king, and I think he ended up getting. This is a comfortable win for FaZe, and I think Tyler actually got 0 first bloods on this map, which is, I don't know if we've seen that at all this season.
No, because he's usually that guy who's running at him, which, to be fair, he was still running at him. They were just, he wasn't getting kills. Even in the last round, he just ran up through field and just got pushed up all the way through B. But we'll skim through it a little bit. Slasher was just doing a really good job just finessing. I don't really know what happened with Florida in this map. Is there anything that you guys think Florida need to improve on? I mean, they got bodied in this map, but in my opinion, it just seems like FaZe is just a well-oiled machine in this S&D. It seemed pretty easy for them. I feel like they're the more prepared team, too. Florida's a new team, so I feel like Search and Destroy is that one game mode where it might take a little bit of time for things to start clicking. We know Florida was a really good LS CeeLo team, but this is a completely different look. Some people are like, Florida's really good at this map, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, well, it's a way different team now. There's only one player that was on the last team. Well, I mean 2, I guess, if you count Brack. But they also moved him to the bench and brought him back.
It's also one of FaZe's best S&Ds because they're so good at the two-way play of they're gonna either play the disrespectful offense, defense, a BZ sim push out, bottom, top, and they just or in your face, or they play slow, methodical into your point. Austin picks the longest fucking flank of all time and somehow gets 2 kills. Like
this is the map, bro. As a competitor, like if you start around and you're about to get deady, you're like, yo, I'm gonna go here. As soon as I get deady, I'm just popping it and I'm just hitting a lane, bro. Like because that's literally all they were doing.
And a little 2v3 here from Atlanta FaZe. Just Florida, they're staggered. They can't get any trades here. They're pushed up in weird positions. Havoc gets caught with his pants down. Fellow gets caught top plat. And just like that, Brack is immediately put in a 1v2 situation. He's actually going to shoot, give his position up. And just like that, FaZe, you can see how they're just able to just kind of roll away with this one. Then we get into this round. Abizi gets a 2-piece here. They actually line up for him. Little lineup here. He's got that Scar in hand. I know Abizi's usually got that Vaznev, but he's got the Scar out in this one. He gets tagged up, but they line up, and they were both tagged, and he gets a 2-piece. And then it's Brack again, who's... Brack is always last alive. I swear, this guy's always last alive. In a 1v2 situation, he tries to get the bomb down, tries to make a play here, but I like the play from Atlanta FaZe. I think teams need to do this way more often. Like, if you're in an opportunity where you can hop on the defuse and just look over him, I feel like you should do it. We were talking about it yesterday with Minnesota when they were sitting around the bomb and not doing anything.
Yeah.
Hop on a bomb. Just get on the bomb. Somebody look
that's
over
also
him.
a good read by them because they were probably just laughing the entire time because they saw where the bomb was planted. It was planted for nothing. Like, he literally couldn't watch the bomb from any external lane. So if they hopped it, he had to literally run to the site to check it. So they probably just realized that and were like, all right, just hop the bomb. And
then the last round, you can see Abizi. He runs right through field. Nobody from Florida is even watching B. They're pushed out right. They're pushed out in A. And FaZe maybe hit him with a little bit of a blind counter here. Abizi just gets pushed up field. They get the bomb down. And, Florida, again, are just staggered, trying to retake. And FaZe continue to win fights. So really, really easy map for FaZe. They kind of ran through it. It was simple for them. And then you take a look at the scoreboard. 11-3 from Slasher. 2-5 from Simp and Celium. So it was pretty much Abizi and Slasher just going off in this one, showing what they can do.
I said, fine, I'll do it myself.
Yeah, pretty much. He just went absolutely crazy. Any final thoughts, gentlemen, before we head into the control, which is also a 3-0 sweep?
No, this is over after this map.
I think the control, man, just comes down to the slaying power. I mean, Florida just can't match Atlanta FaZe when it comes to just getting kills. They just pretty much just dumped on them. It wasn't even close. They hop on A. They work the stacks. They get 2 ticks, and I like how FaZe when they die off of A, they immediately go to that B point. Sometimes you'll see teams come off spawn and they'll go back to A, but it's like if you're getting those back white spawns, just hit B. Just force Florida to run back. Like kind of stagger them throughout the map. And I like how they were able to do this here. They just get on the point. They force Florida to make a play. We all know if you stack points, people are going to have to come out of those positions. I know people like to camp on defense and sound whore, but if you hop those points and that time is going up and those takes are going up fast, it's going to force Florida out of those positions, and that's what FaZe does best. They just force the upper hand. So really good plays from Atlanta FaZe. They run away with this one. They end up winning 3-0. We'll skim through it, but any final thoughts on the series? Anything you guys want to say about Florida or FaZe or anything at all?
I think for FaZe, getting good at this map, because they didn't play it a lot in Major 1 was really key, because they end up growing up a lot on Fortress in Major 1, and we all know how that map goes.
Yeah.
So they played this map a lot in the last couple of weeks. They played it a lot the Major. They played it again here. And it's become a good bread and butter alternative if either they or the other team gets rid of Hotel in the vetoes.
Yeah, Chris, any final thoughts?
No, that's it.
Pat, any final thoughts? Are you falling asleep over there in this one?
That was the 5th time Florida's been swept in a control, though.
Oof, that's tough.
How many times? 5, you said? 5th time?
5, yeah. 5th.
Damn, that is tough for sure. That is tough.
A lot of sweeps.
See FaZe, they go up 1-0. They end up winning the defense. They go up 2-0, and then they do the same thing.
Wait, you said 5?
Yeah, they're 0-5.
They played 16. They played 16 controls. So they're
getting swept in a third of them.
That's not good.
You can see FaZe.
Tied with Legion, for the record.
One thing I wanted to highlight in this last round was Celium. Right off the break off, FaZe just got a clean wipe, and look what MC does. He just pushes up top hill, and he just absolutely causes havoc up here. They could not kill MC over towards this hill side of the map.
You said he causes havoc. You said he causes havoc, and
no pun intended. No pun intended. No pun intended. But MC, he was just so annoying here. Just picking up spawn kills. You see, he gets one. Another player comes off spawn. It's Brack. He gets another one. I mean, this just got to be infuriating. If you're and FaZe does it often where when they're on B stacking, they get somebody pushed up here. So MC just making plays, being annoying on a map. got the scar in hand, and you know, Florida Mutineers, they're just getting mowed down. Look at this. I mean, the 8 points already up, and they still haven't killed MC. So it was a bloodbath, folks. Not much to talk about in this one. We'll take a look at the final scoreboard. 15-5 from a BZ, 17-6 from Slasher. What the hell did Slasher end off with? What the hell was his stat line at the end of this one?
They got like a 1-6, I think, in this series, right?
I hate to say it, Austin. If you're still in the chat, you're just a noob slayer, bro.
No way. My bad, Florida. What the hell?
True.
My bad, Florida. Damn.
Austin's a noob slayer, bro.
Wait, there's actually been a ton of players too that have been noob slayers in their careers. I think we all know the biggest one, but definitely.
It might have to be awesome to chirp back at you two after the series, man.
Yo, wait, we were actually before we start this series, we were actually talking about getting him on the show to discuss some stuff that we had in our previous show about the map pool stuff and getting getting the pros. If he wants to join, and we can talk about that after the show.
Yeah, we can get him on after the games.
Show, but after the games.
After the games, I'm down. After the games, I'm down to get Austin. If he wants to come on, it's up to him.
Yeah.
But let's hop into the next one. We got a Hotel Hardpoint, Mercado S&D, LS CeeLo Control, Fortress Hardpoint, LS CeeLo S&D. We got OpTic Texas going up against the Los Angeles Guerrillas. This one went all the way down to a map 5. OpTic playing with the new player, Dan Ghosty. Any thoughts on the vetoes before we head into the map 1?
OpTic with a Team B strat is definitely interesting in this one.
Why?
We started to see it more this year where teams are like, okay, we really just want to pick that first S&D and guarantee that we get our map there instead of getting that first A side. And obviously this also gives you side pick on map 4 as well. So it was very popular strat in Modern Warfare 2019. Kind of didn't really work out a lot last year. I think a couple teams tried it, but it seems to be back this year with the BT pick.
Listen, I don't want to sound like that guy.
Okay.
But this OpTic team should have came out and did exactly what FaZe just did to Florida. I'm just going to put that out there. The fact that this went game 5 and it relied on Hugh going absolutely insane to win it.
Made a comfortable last map win.
Yeah, but it was Hugh was literally just running around destroying anybody.
It was 14-1 or something?
Yeah, and we also don't know about the EQ setting. Let's not get into that. But to me, I was not impressed by this. Exceed was having a field day with these guys this whole series. I know this is the first year's the new roster, but I think they should have came out and 3-0'd this team.
Well, to be fair, Exceed hasn't been playing particularly well statistics wise. So
the fact that he did that is even worse.
Well, no, that's not even what I'm saying. Wait, that's just you're just assuming he's like a bad player.
He's bad, but like him coming out and having like a 1.3 against OpTic is crazy.
Well, yeah, my point is like him playing to that level is more so like a big catalyst for LAG being able to improve. I feel like they've been kind of like lacking in the slaying category, especially in their submachine guns. And although OpTic, ends up, running away with this at the end with a convincing S&D, I mean, LAG is not a pushover team. They haven't been playing well, but like, bro, they're still not going to be like the worst team in the league.
Let me give you this. First off, there's a tip. Like, let me give you this the 5 maps in order. OpTic fight him on this map. The Mercado was mixy. We'll get to that. I don't know how this happened, but low-key OpTic's flying now. Well, not really under the radar, but they're not a good control team. So that's an issue. Map 4, I'll be honest, and when we get to it, I think LAG mega trolled the end of that map and probably should have won it. And then, yeah, Kyler absolutely went off in the game 5, and now it's tippable. So I would say this. Look, obviously, they probably have more talent this LAG team. They have a lot of tape here and things to work on. And, the major's not tomorrow. So a win is a win. Shit to work on and get it done over the next couple of weeks. I mean, that's what it comes
And
down
also,
to.
my point is, like, dude, outside of Toronto, I don't think outside of Toronto, and I think one other team they played in the qualifiers, these guys have not been like an uncompetitive team like LAG. I feel like they've been competitive. I remember them taking FaZe to a map 5 and choking the fuck out of a lead in one of their qualifier matches. Like, these guys are not a bad team. They've just ran into the wall that is Toronto, who apparently just hard counters them because those guys just steamroll them every time. But I mean, although you might not be impressed, I don't think this is a bad sign for OpTic yet. I think I was pretty happy with like Ghosty's performance the entire series. He obviously had a really good map 5 as well. I just think you're kind of underrating LAG here a bit. I don't think they're the best team in the world, but like these guys are not uncompetitive by any stretch of the imagination outside of literally when they play Toronto.
Yeah, I mean, I I was impressed. I mean, the first map, the way that Optic came out in this first map was insane, and I think this was just a good look to see how much their potential.
Not on 5. Sorry.
I think this really gets to show like their actual potential and what they could be. They're a new team. They just brought Dan Ghosty in, so of course they're gonna have things that they're gonna have to work on, just like every other team. But they chained the first 3 hills in this one, and they were just rolling through this map. I mean, if they could keep up, if they can just replicate this and keep doing this, they're going to be a scary team, man. They have a lot of talent in respawns, man. This is going to be a tough team to beat in respawns for sure.
LAG is also, and granted, this is a little bit with their team before, but it hasn't really improved at all with their new team. They have the least amount of average points scored in a hardpoint loss. Like, they always get blown out in hardpoint, and when they do, it's by a wide. When they lose, it's by a wide margin. Like, they are by far and away below every other team in the league, like in HP and losses. Like, they just get smoked.
Let's tune into the Optic Texas listening. They came out with a lot of energy, man, and it was exciting to watch. So let's tune in and see how the boys are sounding.
Hey, left side point. Holding main. I'm holding main. Left side point. You're. I'm just gonna run right.
I go stun main. I stun main. One's main lobby.
I don't see him. He's outside of mid. Outside of mid. One shot. Got it. He got it. He got it. He's gonna die.
You guys just top bench right there.
Got it. Got it. Push right off. Absolutely 2-2. TK. Come on, Eldas. Telling. T1 heading and got heady. T1 heading got heady. Let's hit this shit together. Yeah, he's good point. There's heady. Yeah, let's play through the scrap. It's only got heady. I can't do shit.
Got heady dead. Got heady dead.
There's one more here. Assault. Push through. Let's go through. Let's go through middle. One guy's main. He's middle. One guy's gonna be bottom bed draw. Challenging beacon. I don't see him beacon. One miss here though. You got that. One more. That's him. Double. Let's go kitchen. Last two are new. We're spawning satellite. There's spawning satellite here, guys. There's nothing in kitchen. Nothing in kitchen. One's TV. You're Armstead works around the corner. TV.
Watch out, Bricks.
Alright, one guy ran rugs. One shot rugs.
Yeah, I better cruise this.
Alright, heard that. Freezer, absolute.
Yeah, I'm cruising shit.
Yeah, one guy's going TV. One guy's going TV.
One's rugs. One's
I hear you. I don't see TV.
Where should I push?
Down TV.
Yo, he's offset freezer, guys. Offset freezer.
One. Push rugs. Freezer in time. Left two. File. I don't see
Freezer weak. He's pushing through.
TV. They're gonna get mid spawns.
Yeah, I spawned out. Yeah, I'm gonna play through.
Yeah, when freezer. He went TV. I think I heard him. This is good scrap. Might be playing exits. Yeah, you minute rugs. Right, I got him. Alright, no, make him tell me. I don't see him rugs. Go. Go cat. Let's go front. Let's go.
Okay, so Optic Texas definitely maybe a little bit.
A lot of energy.
A lot of energy.
A lot of energy, which is a positive.
I mean, it's a positive. Personally, I thought the comms were a little bit too hectic.
I wouldn't know where to look.
I think they're just absolutely pooping on them. I don't think I think they're just individually just frying, and I don't know what Hook ate today, but we saw Prime Hook today, and if he could keep this up, I think this team could go a long way. He went absolutely insane in this map 1. And the comms, yeah, they were definitely a little hectic. They reminded me of
but at least they had energy and they weren't fucking
dead. Yeah, like sleeping, which was good to see. But they end up chaining a bunch of hills together. I mean, they get off to such a big lead that there's just no way LAG is bringing this one back. They chained like the first 3 hills. You heard the energy they came out with in the hard point. Alec had a really tough map in this one, man. Like Alec and Joe Deceives, they struggled in this map 1. LAG really couldn't keep up with them in the slaying department, at least in this map. Any thoughts on the listening or any thoughts on the map in general?
If they calm like that when they're not getting kills, they're getting cooked, by the way.
Yeah, that's
like we can call out they had energy all they want, but if they call out like that and they don't get kills, they're getting world.
They might have also been calling out that way because they're up 150 points, like smoking them, you know? Like
they just have so much. They just have so much like map. Yeah, they have so much map control and like information. They're just playing at a pace that these guys can't keep up. So
if I never really had to slow that, I would love to know they're common like that.
They would never really had to slow down. But the point also I wanted to say about this map, it's like it's good to see Ghosty. He even does this in 8s when he plays. He's a hill soaker.
Yeah,
and I feel like I feel like Optic needs somebody like that in hardpoint. Obviously, it's not ideal that maybe one person is only the one getting in the hill, but like when you have a team of people that like to slay and like to kill horror and like to push out cuts and go rogue, like it's good that like Dan kind of understands his role here and he's kind of just like getting in the hill, being like the slower player on the team and just letting like his superstars kind of handle everything else.
He loves it, Chris. He loves the
exactly.
hill.
So
even in 8s, bro, he'll have like 2.5 minutes on every map. I'm just like, dude, this guy loves to sitting in the hill. And I agree, because when you have a player like that who soaks up time and he does a good job of getting kills, it's easy to play around him. Like it's easy when you have a player doing little things like that, because not only is he doing the objective, but he's also getting kills in the slaying department as well. So it was cool to see Dan Ghosty come out and have a good map, as well as the rest of his teammates. Hook went crazy. You can see it was an absolute bloodbath. We could take a look at the final scoreboard. 20-13 from Hook, 18-12 from Ghosty. Everybody positive, dashy shots. Everybody's doing their thing. On the other side, a little bit of a stinky from Joe Deceives. A little bit of a stinker.
6?
Yeah, it's 6, but it happens, man. It happens. Optic came out hot in this series, so they start off pretty hot, and then we go into the S&D. Any final thoughts on the map 1, folks? Did Chris just fall? Chris, you
no,
good, bro?
I was spilling. I almost spilled a drink. Sorry.
Get the sippy cup in the chat. Get the sippy cup in the chat. Let's keep it going, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hop over to the Mercado. Search and destroy. This was a pretty back and forth map. This one went all the way down to a 6-4. First round, it was LAG who just rushed this A site. They are able to get control. They go up around. Going into the next round, Shotzzy. Big plays on a 2-piece. Rushing through mid, but somehow, some way, Assault was stuck in a corner and finds 2. But luckily, it was Hook that was able to... actually, no, Assault clutches this up, but how it happens here? How the hell did they win this round? Yeah, now Ghosty tries to make a play. So Assault somehow gets 2. That's a round that Optic probably got to win there. Shotzzy gets a 2-piece coming through mid-alley. They can't let Assault pop 2 kills there when he's trapped in the corner there. Yeah. I'm not even too sure how that even happened, because they weren't on his screen. So I don't even know how he got those 2 kills.
Yeah, they peeked them from the window and they just didn't kill him.
It's just an Optic thing, to be honest. Letting Assault get kills that he shouldn't get.
Well, that Patch
is an Optic hater, bro. He's an Optic hater, bro.
Y'all like that one, right? Y'all like that one.
It was a good one, but you're a hater, bro.
That was a good one. Y'all like that one.
The first couple of rounds of this map were like full speed TDM off the rip, and then I think really where this turned, and we'll get to it, was a couple of plays Exceed made just sort of mid round that end up being the difference, I think, overall.
Yeah, a lot of mid-round adjustments. We could go through this. You can see how LAG wins that one off the Assault 2-piece. And then we hop into this round. I love the routes from Hook here. He pops a dead silence. He switches lanes so fast that they can't keep track of him. They have no idea where the hell this guy went. And with that dead silence, he's able to get a kill here, reset the Daddy, and then he picks up another one as well onto Assault. Big plays from Hook as he clutches the 1v2.
Wait, so is it true he was playing with gyro aim? Is that like a confirmed fact?
Apparently he was.
But is that like a confirmed thing? Or
I think they said on stream, did they not?
Yeah, Chris, watch your mic a little bit if you don't mind. It's just get going.
There's no way.
Apparently, Austin, welcome.
No way.
Austin, welcome to the flank.
Yeah, Austin, thoughts? Do you think he was playing with the gyro aim?
I feel like there is absolutely no way that he was. But I mean, listen, maybe he will. I don't know. I just feel like something like that's like, bro, imagine you just showed up with no aim assist. Like, you wouldn't know.
That's what I'm saying. How do you go a whole tournament playing on that?
What does it do? What does gyro aim do? What does it do?
I think if you move your controller, it like moves your aim.
What?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, you tilt your controller down and tilt your aim down. And stuff.
No way.
Like, bro,
He was
I feel
playing
like
with
there's
that?
no shot. Like, I don't know, bro. That's just mind blowing to me.
There's no way he was playing with that. That's actually insane. If he was playing with that, bro. How do you get kills?
You want to know what is crazy though? To speak on the settings a little bit, settings do randomly be changing in games nowadays. I know from the last major, before our first match, I warmed up on standard for 3 maps, and I couldn't for the life of me figure out what was wrong.
Right.
And I checked my settings a million times, checked my overclock, and it took me till like 3 maps into the warm-up to randomly stumble upon I was on standard, and I don't know how it happened.
No, I noticed that. I think that's what happened to Hook. I think that's what they were saying, is that the update came out and his settings changed, and he didn't realize, and he was playing with gyro aim. I think that's what they said.
Yeah, but like that's what I'm saying though. How do you not notice it? Because I was tweaking, bro. I was there. I was like, dude, I can't shoot straight. Like, what's going on?
You probably it's all met. You probably sitting there like, yo, I'm just ass right now. Like,
I was like, dude, there's no way.
When the update came out, it had gyro aim on. You had to like go in and manually turn it off before you started playing.
Yeah, you have to manually. I had to turn mine off, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's on by default when the update came out.
Just to talk about the map a little bit. Last round, Ghosty, he ends up beating the hell out of somebody, beats him down. Then we go into the 2-3 round. I thought Ghosty almost had the 1v3 here. Check this out. 1v3, takes down Assault, takes down Exceed. If he reads this player here and holds the L trigger, he might even be able to pop a 3-piece there. So big plays there from LAG to not get 3-piece, but good tries out of the rookie Dan Ghosty, going for the 1v3 there. And then check this round out. Little wall bang from Shotzzy. Look at this, folks. Austin, this is so cheese. This dog makes
This is the ultimate cheese right here.
This is so you can see Shotzzy on their mini map. You're probably wondering how the hell did he get the kill on bomb? He's actually looking through the wall. There's like a window there where you can shoot through the wall, and it's like paper. It's like you're not even wall banging. He finds the first blood onto that bomb site. LAG start tweaking because they don't know how they died, and they run through tunnel, and just like that, Optic or somehow did they end up losing this round? No, I think they're good. They won this round. No, they win this round. They're good. I thought for a second with the way LAG was fist bumping.
It's next couple rounds after.
Just the way Alec was fist bumping,
yeah.
I thought they won the round somehow. I was like, how? And then we go into the next round. Oh, here it is right here. Let's take a look at this. You guys can see how Shotzzy was able to do it. I've seen a lot of players go for this, but not actually get the kills doing it. So it was cool to see somebody finally get it done. So he gets the wall bang. Then we go into the next round. This was just a blind counter from LAG. They just hit this A site out. This was a really, really quick round. This is Mercado searching the short for you guys, ladies and gentlemen. It was a really, really fast round. They just win the trades over towards the A side. And then this was a really, really big round, in my opinion.
Yeah,
this was the swing round. This was just a swing round for me. Shotzzy finds a gap through the middle of the map. He pops that dead silence. He's able to get a little flank going. He finds one onto Alec. Then he spots another one here. He's going to drop that stun down. Finds another. Boom. 2-piece from him. 2v4 situation. You can see Jodeci's bounces back. But it's Exceed that takes the long route. Shotzzy flanks LAG. And Exceed flanks Optic. So they both flank. They don't see each other on the flanks. And I like the little play here. He sits down on this little ice cream stand or whatever it is. And Jodeci ends up playing that B bomb plan. You know, Exceed brings in the calls. And this is just the no red dot cheese as well. Shotzzy gets one. I think Dashy's a little confused on where the hell he actually is. And then he hears the player behind him, so he just pre-stuns him. Like, tell me that's not the cheesiest one.
Hell of a read.
Like, do you see what I'm saying? Like, it's just so dumb, dude. It's just dumb. Like, he gets one. Dashy has no idea where he is because of no red dots. Maybe the call-out confused him a bit because he was on a hot dog. I think Octane said they call it the hot dog stand.
It was not a hot dog, though. We clearly saw
Nah,
that.
that's fruit. Yeah, that's fruit. I don't know why they call it a hot dog stand.
They got into the trap of like there was a lot of action today. They didn't see anything for like 15 or 20 seconds. They didn't try to like readdress it all. They kind of held, and the minute the bomb got planted.
Actually, it's not a fruit stand. It's a popsicle stand. It's literally a paletero stand.
You
Just
fix
let
your
you know.
microphone?
But it's fruit flavored. It's fruit flavored, though.
Yeah.
It is fruit flavored. And then we get into the last round. That was the biggest round in my opinion. I think that's a round that Optic need to win. Shotzzy makes the play, and they end up throwing that round away. So, you know, Pat, you were talking about Optic, but I think that this was a map that should have gone Optic's way. I think this maybe could have even been like, I know they probably lost the control, but this could have been like a 3-0 or 3-1 for Optic if they didn't choke some of these rounds.
But you got to think, though, like we were talking about like the Shotzzy cheese, so I think the Exceed cheese kind of canceled out, you know?
What, the cheese cancels out the cheese?
Yeah, exactly.
And then we get into the last round.
What do you mean the Shotzzy cheese? Are you talking about the thing he did with the wall? Or?
Yeah. Like Shotzzy had the Parmesan and Exceed had the Swiss.
Provolone. He had the provolone.
Also in terms of this map, like these guys, whenever they with their old team, they used to have this like weird, like unorthodox play style in this map where they would play slow. So it was good to see them getting a lot more aggressive as a team. They're probably still getting kind of like used to playing the map, and obviously they had a couple chokes. But in general, I feel like Dashy this series, and even in the Search and Destroy, although he had a pretty decent amount of damage, he hasn't really been playing. He didn't play too well like this series, and that's kind of an anomaly. Like since he's been back, he's literally been the mega superstar ultra carry. So for them to even like, you know, win this series when he's like playing poorly, at least statistically, I still think it speaks volumes about this team right now with Ghosty.
Would you not say that Hugh overperformed? Like I think Hugh overperforming cancels out Dashy underperforming because
yeah, sure. I mean,
what we saw Dashy do is what we usually see Hugh.
But it's also like it's not like a completely new team, but like I feel like Dan's gonna change the way this team plays in general. Like they're gonna probably have a lot more teamwork, and on top of that, I feel like when they got rid of Illy, a lot of people were kind of like wondering like why, and I feel like they probably had like some internal issues with Illy. I don't think it was just strictly performance based, and so I feel like bringing on Dan and like the vibes he brings, and obviously all the actual, you know, gameplay stuff it's going to rejuvenate some of the stuff in this Optic roster, and who knows, that might, you know, be able to get Hook in his groove.
Bro, what is Ben J Nassim stealing your gimmick, Pat?
Dude, I got Austin stealing my gimmick. I got Ben stealing my gimmick. Listen, Tom, I'm just trendy.
You're trendy, Pat. They're copying you.
I also want to know what tournament that's from, because that must have been like a one match like thing.
That's a one-off. That's a one-off for
weekend
sure.
long tournament, and those stats are accurate.
Let me guess.
What tournament was it?
It was a qualifier or something.
No. I don't. Come on. I don't talk about qualifiers.
Okay, what was it? What was it?
I talk about LAN event tournaments.
Okay, what LAN event tournament?
You can go look it up, man. It happened.
It's Photoshop. It's just Photoshop.
It's the provolone. It's the provolone cheese.
Nah, I had that saved in my phone from a long time ago.
Okay, so what event?
I think it was the third event AW, I want to say. Maybe playoffs. I can't remember.
That was a qualifier. The third event was the champs qualifier.
I wouldn't save something from a qualifier. But
I don't
you guys
know.
know me.
Wait, was it the playoffs I went to you guys with? Like where was I on the team
actually.
then? Or was it season 1? Actually, no, I was on your team for season 1.
No, you weren't on our team.
I was on your team for season 2.
There's Columbus, another event, and then
Maybe it was the second one. Maybe it was Orlando. I don't know.
Ah, Orlando cheese. Who
Dude,
cares
I
about
was
that
the
event?
Atlanta event.
Who cares about the Orlando cheese?
Let's get
Let's lock back in. Let's lock back
weeks
in.
before
Wait, I
with
have a-
6 stitches in the thumb.
Wait, I have a
Dog.
question if I can ask it. I don't know.
Yeah, go ahead.
of course,
Okay,
Austin.
sorry. Yo, Chris, you know Dan Ghosty way better than I do. I was curious, because you guys were talking about Dashy underperforming. Is he like a slower player, or is he like quicker? Because I know Ender, the way he played AR was like really quick. It's like obviously he wasn't putting up numbers. And so,
Ender was not quick.
wait, he would die a lot.
Yeah, but that's
Like I'm not
bro.
saying like in a bad thing. Like I mean, he
Nah,
was just like chow.
Ender at least this year, bro. I don't know if you could tell, he slowed down a lot, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know if you
I'm just saying
realize
on
this.
average. On
I feel
average.
like Illy
not-
used to like be like super like crack like type POV, bro. He stopped using like he uses one of the slower AR classes now. Like,
But you know what I mean,
he just
though,
like
right? Like he
irons.
was like a player who would like push out with
Yeah,
an AR.
I
Like,
know
he's
what you
not
mean.
Like,
yeah,
like
Dan,
I'm not saying in chat.
Dan's
yeah,
more
Dan-
methodical, I feel like.
Dan is more methodical. I mean, like, bro, the dude is like he's literally just soaking Hill like in hard points. Like,
if you have 2 ARs that are both methodical, it's gonna be harder for like Dashy to put up those numbers. Not saying he won't do it. I'm just curious how like Ghosty plays because I don't know much about
I
him.
kind of like Austin how objective-minded Ghosty is. I feel
No,
like
yeah, he
you
was
know what I
this
mean.
series for sure.
Like, I mean, bro, not even this series. I've been watching him in 8s and stuff. He's always just like soaking time or getting on points. I mean, I haven't watched him much in Control, but he just seems like a very unselfish player, which I think is a
Yeah.
good thing for them.
No, that's definitely a good thing
but
for
it's
sure.
easy to play
I
around
know
that.
nothing about him because we haven't even scrimmed him really, so
Yeah.
I was just curious.
Yeah,
Well,
no, he's
hopefully him coming in can fix some of their control woes because again, as we mentioned in the beginning of the series, and I don't know how we haven't mentioned until now. Maybe I blame myself. I didn't catch on this. Like there's after this 6 and 11 in control. I didn't realize how poor they're at this game mode, and this is kind of like I remember last year they kind of fell off after the beginning of the year. They were probably one of the best control teams. They went on that crazy Dustin control streak, and then they really struggled in the back end of last year, and now this year struggling in this game mode. What do you guys think it is as to why they've really struggled in control so far this year?
honestly, I don't know what's good with their control. Map pool wise, I don't really know if what are they vetoing? Are they vetoing Hotel? Like, do they not like to play Hotel?
Hotel is the one map they actually have a win.
Oh, so they're just not
they-
gambling on the Fortress, is what it is,
They
bro.
don't, they played. They're 4-5 in Hotel, 0-2 in Fortress, 2-4 in Asilo.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like they're probably just not taking the fortress control gambles against some teams. And granted, I can see why. I'm not an advocate of picking that map. They just don't seem particularly strong at this map. And at least looking at their team on paper, these guys have shooters. So if they got to square up on some fucking mixy fortresses, like
Yeah.
I mean, they did it
to try to
they
get
did
some-
at the event against Thieves, and remember what
but they
happened?
made
They fucking
listen,
trolled.
They
They
trolled. They
trolled.
made mistakes that there's no way they make those mistakes again. There's just no way. I mean, they trolled
Yeah.
and bro, that's a mistake that you make that you have to like put that in your mind to never ever do that again, like ever. I mean, especially on Fortress Control. That's like the gnarliest spawn trap in like Call of Duty history. Okay, no,
Yeah.
I played MW2. You got some pretty crazy spawn traps in MW2. But
Wait, Tom, this is outside of the map. Did you see that clip on Reddit of the spawn trap? Me and like three other challenger players set up in rank play.
That was godlike. That was godlike.
You couldn't see it from Morty's POV, but when you saw the kill
They
cam,
were spawning in front of
they were
you.
spawning on him, and they couldn't react because there's like an animation when you spawn where you pull up your gun.
It reminded
and they just
me.
couldn't move.
It reminded me of like those old gen CODs where like people are just you stand in certain spots. Like if everybody's standing in a certain spot, you can set something up where literally people can't move off spawn. You know what I'm saying?
The scrapyard trap was crazy.
Yeah, the scrapyard trap. That was a big one too. The scrapyard one.
I used to lose full, bro, because Teep would always leave the back tractor, bro, and want to like go to the other side, and he would unblock that spawn.
Dude, no way, Teep.
Am I crazy for thinking though that like it's easier to get out of the scrapyard trap? Like at least you can nade the guy white wall.
Well, yeah, they didn't have trophy systems back in the day.
That's what I'm saying,
bro.
Yeah.
You know, bro,
you didn't have flag jacket.
Yo, dude, wait, Austin, as a player, bro, like when they get into maps and they got double maps and you go in, you throw a nade in there or a stun in there and it gets trophied, you just know you're dying.
Yeah,
Like
there's nothing to talk about in scrims. There's almost nothing to talk about in that map.
That's why games
We'll get
need
into it
an
after, though. We'll
EMP
get into it.
grenade.
we'll talk about it later. We'll talk about it later.
We'll get it in. Let's go into the map a little bit. I mean, this was 5 defensive wins in a row. No team was able to win an offense here. There was a little bit of a lag here for like 5 seconds where a timeout was brought up.
You see is that the timeout? Is that like a timeout icon or is that the lag icon?
No, it's a timeout icon. The league puts it up. The league puts it up there whenever there's some lag and a team requests a timeout. So they request a timeout. I'm not sure exactly who requested it. But it was a pretty comfortable defense for both teams. Nobody got even close to winning an offensive round. And then in this last round, going into the overtime, this was just a bloodbath from LAG. They somehow just get 4 dead off the rip, and they just put OpTic in the blender. I mean, if you have such a good break off like this, and you can spread the map and kind of pin a team into this back corner of the map, OpTic was just they did not have a good break, and it really hurt them here. Breakoffs are really important in control. No bang.
Yeah, and to your point, like there's really 3 kind of ways you can get out of your spawn. You can hop the wall, obviously that's the 4th, but even then it makes sound cues doing it. And on the LAG end, I mean, I thought this was the Exceed map, man. This guy was just like we saw in Nero earlier on today, just hitting different levels in this map, just a nuisance, getting kills, getting away. And for LAG, I mean, I didn't really I thought, you know, we talked about in the outside of the series, I thought this would be sort of a 3-0. I think LAG was playing that good. We talked about in the watch party that we're on the block because the scrims haven't been really that good.
Wait, 3-0 in the control or the series?
No, the series. We're on the series.
You think it could have been a 3-0 LAG?
Well, no, for OpTic.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, I agree. I thought I was going to say, are you fading?
No, I'm saying for LAG, I thought they would get kind of waxed in this series, but they put OpTic to the sword here and forced them to have to take 2 maps straight. So a good win from them on this control.
Yeah, no, they put the nail in the coffin in this control. OpTic just couldn't get out of the spawn. Look at the lives, 25-10 with 5 seconds left on the clock. So OpTic just had a really hard time getting kills, getting out of that spawn trap. That was a rough one for them. Take a look at the final scoreboard, 20-15 from Alec. Good to see that, because and Joe deceives, right? They had a rough first map in the respawn, so to see them bounce back in this one was good to see. Everybody pulling their weight from LAG. But any final thoughts on control before we head into the map number 4?
Control.
Control's it's a snooze. Control's an absolute snooze.
We'll talk about it a little bit, but control encompasses the worst things about Call of Duty, like sound whoring, camping, and spawn trapping. The 3 worst traits of Call of Duty are literally like the best thing, like the things you need to be good at control. It's horrible.
Let's talk about it after this series because we have Austin here and we had a development.
Yep. Let's talk about it. I want to talk about this map a little bit. We get into the Fortress Hardpoint, and I thought Shotzzy was clinical in these P2s. Both P2s, OpTic was able to lock down full 60s, and in the first one, it was just Shotzzy just doing what he does. He finds a kill in art. He gets pushed out with that scar in his back pocket, and he's just an absolute nuisance here. When you have a player that's pushed down a cut, just getting kills and being annoying, it's just going to slow down the push. I mean, look at LAG. They're not even attempting to try and break this P2 hill because they can't. They have to find Shotzzy. So Shotzzy just being annoying on the map, making them work for it. They locked down a lot of time. LAG did a pretty good job bringing this one back. It was the next P2 where OpTic, again, just soaked down a full 60. But a little bit of a misplay towards the end of this game. I know, Ben, we were talking about it a little bit during the watch party, but LAG... maybe a little bit of a mistake from them at the end of this one.
A little bit of a mistake. I mean, they
had very big mistake.
They had an opportunity the way this game set up at the end, where they were fully rotated to a P2, and all they had to do really is watch front. They decided to stack art, and OpTic just waltzed into the front had to kill one dude and entirely broke the setup. It was kind of unacceptable and a massive missed opportunity for LAG, who probably should have won the series.
Yeah, it could have been a 3-1.
We'll take a look at it. We'll take a look at the play. So you can see how LAG was able to bring it back. They bring this game back. Optic, they had the lead for majority of this one. And then LAG, they had this rotation over to the P2 hardpoint. This is where, if you're an Optic fan, you start to get worried because you're spawning out. LAG's got full control. I'm pretty sure LAG, they end up getting the kills here as well. So they get another wipe. And Optic, they're forced to flood. They have to do something.
What the fuck were they looking at? Hold on. Can you go back to the mini map?
Yeah, sure. Who? LAG or Optic?
Yeah, LAG. Go back. Right before they're about to break. I need to see this. No, this is fine.
So
this guy
initially
gets
it's
the
Brucey.
trade.
Dashy goes massive on a rotation because he hits the snakes. I also see Dashy practicing his snakes, which is always good to see. His form is looking very good. Austin has to laugh that one off a little bit. But the form's looking good for Big Brucey on the snakes because he's been practicing that. I saw a clip on Reddit. And MC was also gassing him. What'd you say, Austin? He said,
they get a 4 dead and all camp the back of the base.
They camp. They sit in their base, bro.
Wait. No. That as well. Like, so they had a guy in art. The guy in Hill, bro, he's not even looking open.
Nope.
He's looking at closed.
Nobody's even staring at it.
Look at bro.
But they
had
win.
a 4 dead.
Well, no, I'm saying but I'm saying the guy. What's the guy in Hill looking at?
My bad, Alec. My bad. They're calling you out.
Alex in the hat saying he was screaming for help.
Yeah.
And
no one's watching.
And they decided to just sit art, I guess, Alec, and just leave you out to dry. You know what I mean? Listen, for me, this is unacceptable from LAG. You get a 4 clean wipe. You know Optic spawning out front. I don't mind people in R, like snake and rails and somebody watching the back, because you
just
can also
one,
just one.
Push
Just
out.
one.
Wait, Austin,
just
get
one
some
guy.
Austin. Wait, Alec, get some snakes going. I know you have a trophy
Bro, he
system.
was
You're on the
screwed.
stage.
He is.
Wait, no. He was laying down, staring at clothes.
Hey,
just
he was
start snaking. No, what? No, look at him.
Yeah, he starts snaking, but he's just.
Well, yeah,
start-
by the
look at him. He
time
starts
they're
snaking.
already in and he has no info, just start pre-snaking.
I mean,
but-
personally, bro.
You needed teammate help though, bro. Like you want.
Well, wait, I'm not saying that he shouldn't have teammate help, but like, bro, if you're the only guy on the stage, even if you're begging for help, start snaking. Start snaking the damn stage.
I mean, bro, they got 4 dead and didn't push out. That's
didn't
the type
move.
of thing. If that happens, I'm
Hey,
getting off.
hey.
If we get a 4 dead and nobody's pushing
Listen,
out,
bro,
I'm getting
there
off.
are, yes, of course, man, of course. But
Austin's
like,
raging off.
don't just stay on the hill. If he
My
was
boys
so
forgot about
look.
it today.
If he was pre-snaking the stage, by the time they literally got to the open arch before they even dived out, he would have literally seen them all
Yeah.
and maybe even tagged some people out. I'm not saying they shouldn't have been there. I'm saying he should be snaking the damn stage, looking at his like push. He's just
So
laying
now-
at an off angle and they dove in for free.
So nowadays people are costing because they're not snaking, bro. It's
it's crazy. It's crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
It's
duh.
true. It's true. It's
Yeah, it
actually-
is true.
it's
What?
nuts. It's
You're
nuts.
you're just gonna lay down and do nothing?
Austin, we need some real FPSs to play, huh? Wow.
Oh, do you have one in mind?
Here he
Ooh,
goes.
I'm working on a little something. Austin.
You guys are dumb. Shotzi had an insane map. This guy was 34 and 26. Everybody else from his team was negative. This guy had a takeover map. And then, of course, LAG. You can't make mistakes like that because a team like Optic's going to take advantage of it. And that's exactly what happened. We saw kind of how that one unfolded. And that's how Optic was able to send this to a map 5. Any final thoughts on a map 4? I definitely think that was the biggest mistake of the map. It was... Optic had a pretty good lead for most of it. It was kind of going back and forth a little bit. They were trading rotos, but that mistake at the end really hurt LAG and Optic. They took advantage of it.
Chad is so faded. I'm not saying he should have killed them all. If he was literally snaking open and he saw them there before they dived out, he could have potentially either tagged them or scared them off. Instead, he laid down closed and looked at nothing. They dove out for free without even getting a bullet in them, and then they flooded them and died.
I mean, Alec, you have to get 4 there, Alec. I mean,
I'm not
seriously,
saying
I don't
he
know
used to
what
get
you were doing
4,
there.
bro.
I don't know what you were
Come
doing
on,
there. I'm
dude.
just
You
messing
guys
with
can't be
you. I'm
serious.
just messing with you, bro.
Oh my god,
We're just
man.
messing. I get what you're saying, Chris. Regain. Let's
Dude,
hop into the map 5.
I just hate when people literally like sit there and just try to act like they know what the fuck they're talking about.
Well,
it pisses me
I mean, I
off.
definitely think the snakes are definitely a factor. You have to throw some snakes in there. It's just the way this new era of Call of Duty is played. And, Austin, I know that's not your favorite. Neither.
I wouldn't even snake there. I would have ran it open and pushed it out.
Yeah, I bet you got
head glitch too.
I mean, you get four. You
Hell
get
no.
4
Bro,
dead.
4
You might
dead,
as well.
Go button, baby.
Yeah. Hit the go button. You gotta make use of your kills, and they did the opposite. So, and then we get into the last map. And is there really much to break down, or should we just say it how it is? Hook just completely world stardom. Like, I don't know what the hell this guy ate, but this guy was going crazy. That was the first death he got. He starts off 2-1. He ends up what, 14-1? What did he end off exactly? Do you know, Ben?
I think so. Yeah.
14-1.
He finished 14-1. Yeah.
Which is like, that's just absolutely insane, dude. Like,
1300 Danny.
he dies the first round, and then he just goes absolutely rogue. I don't even know how he got this piece right here. He throws the nade down, finds another one, big 2-piece out of him in this round. They end up tying it up at 1, and then this is where this Optic just started running away with it. Shotzzy with the dead silence play. I got a little scared for a second. I thought Alex was going to turn and burn. But Shotzzy, he pops the dead silence, and look at his route. He just runs right through the right side of the map. Nobody from LAG is even looking at it. And he's able to take down Alec. Hook is able to find another one in the site. You could just see this guy, how twisted he actually is. He was moving different today. I don't know. This guy needs to, whatever he did today, he needs to continue.
I'm loving it
that.
for my fantasy team, bro. I got him for $4. I got him and Dan and Dashi, I think, and I'll take the
Wait,
and Dan cheese.
you got who?
I got Hugh, Dashi, Dan, and Cammy. That was my four.
You took 3 people on one squad?
Well, I literally took. I took a
you're
team.
getting dead last.
I took a team.
It's a good stack.
I took a team that was gonna go to LAN and like place well, and then I like my fourth one was Cammy because he was like obviously really cheap, and Rokkr usually like has had a pretty good stretch lately.
Listen,
and
that's a horrible fantasy team.
Wait, what? So far they've been doing good. Huk and Ghosty went off, and then Cammy went off in that series.
Huk and Ghosty went off. Ghosty had a 0.9. Hugh had a 1.2, but without the SMD game, he had a 1.0.
I'll take it.
Cammy's getting Kentucky Fried.
Like,
what? Who's the other guy?
Cammy Fried.
Cammy
Fried.
No.
That's a good team.
Bruce had a 0.8. No, I'm saying,
but that's not normal.
Cammy will get Kentucky Fried over this course of this season.
You're not a believer. You're not a believer. Wait, who's your team?
You want to hear it? It's the best team. Ready for this?
Yeah, I want to hear it.
All right, Big Beans, who came out today 1.35 something.
He had a 0.6 yesterday.
Redeemed himself though. He's even. Then I got Dan Ghosty. We'll see what he can do. And then hear me out. I got Pred and Mac. By the way, 1.4s, 1.5s today. Listen.
Oh my god!
Wait, you're a believer in Seattle now, Pat?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Yo, Austin, it's just like it's just how it works. You know, what goes up must come down. They went down, they got to go back up. So
you actually made the read on that, by the way.
Oh, of course I did. I always have. I've never been wrong, and I've only been early. Tom, let's get us into the next one, though.
Yeah, I'm just kind of skimming through it because Hook went different. Even in this last round, I just wanna show what Hook did.
He never got a first blood, by the way, in the 14 kills. I don't know how that.
Wait, really?
Yeah, no first.
That one.
I felt like he was just challenged too.
Yeah, he was. Look, bro, this last round was tippable, bro. I just want to watch this last round for those of you in the chat who weren't able to watch today, or anybody watching on YouTube. Just take a look at the routes this guy's doing. This guy's challenging everything. And also LAG, no trades, man. No trades at all. They're getting picked out one by one. But Hook, he's all over the map. Dead silence, fucking switching lanes. You can see he's all hyped up. And he ends off 14-1. 1-4 from Ghosty. He was like, bro, this is my first day out here. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? He's just, all right, I'll take it. You know, my teammates going absolutely nuts. So big plays from Hook, man. He went absolutely crazy in the map 5. Optic, they win the last map and they end up winning the series 3-2. Any final thoughts on the series, man? Any thoughts at all? And I know, go ahead, Ben.
I think, again, I'll repeat what I said in the beginning, which is, the dub is a dub. It's a nice start for Optic, who have a very hard qualifier stretch in the teams they got to play. And I think the benefit for them with the changes, they've got a lot of tape that they can review going into next week on things that they really need to fix with their team. Obviously, get better control, clean up some of the situational play in Respawn S&D. And look, they're going to a home major. These guys have a lot of momentum potentially to win a major championship with the squad.
Yeah, I think this team has a lot of potential, and I think Ghosty's going to be a good fit for them, just because he's such an objective-minded player that I feel like as long as he's doing what he's got to do and they play around him, I feel like for some reason, I don't know what it is with Shotzzy and Hook, but I feel like they bring out the best in each other. Like, I feel like they always look better when they play with each other, and sometimes that just happens. Like, certain players make you. It's just the chemistry they have. They're world champions together.
Did we watch the same major though?
I mean, what major? The last one?
Yeah. I don't think.
But they had a new. They
Shotzi
got a
brought
whole.
out
They got
anything
a
at
whole new player though.
Yeah, but I'm saying like I don't feel like Shotzi brought out anything at Hugh at Major 2.
You don't think Optic looked better when they brought in when they made the switch? You don't think they looked a little bit better? I thought their pacing looked way better in the match.
I think Bruce.
No, they went from 12th to like
better.
3rd.
They
Yeah,
got
okay,
fourth, but
okay,
Bruce
and-
was that guy.
Yeah, and here it is. A team dynamic can change a player. Just
Exactly.
Like,
And to Austin's point, Dan Ghosty might change this dynamic and make Bruce worse, and he is literally that guy.
Oh wait,
Hey.
hold up. I was just asking a question. I don't know
Yeah,
much
I know.
about him.
To your point,
Wait. Even if that might be the case, where Bruce isn't putting up insane record-breaking numbers, that's not necessarily a bad thing. If the load is spread more over the team and other people are picking up the slack there, then it doesn't matter. They're gonna be a lot more balanced in that aspect.
Listen, I'm just saying we're reacting like they just beat FaZe. They beat
No one's reacting that way.
LAG Game 5 arguably should have lost the series 3-1 if Alex
should have
had any
arguably
help
won the
on
series
that
Could have
team.
won the
3-0.
series 3-0.
So, I don't know. I wasn't.
Guy's a hater,
impressed.
bro. He's an Optic hater.
No, I'm a realist. I'm not impressed, and I also think Hugh
No one is
overperformed
impressed.
today. Hugh overperformed today. It's that
That's
simple.
fine, and Dashi overperformed for an entire major.
No,
Who's to say?
Dashi's literally just him.
Or not
That's just
over a
him. It was
major,
just
but
him.
over an entire split. Who's to say that
How did he
somebody else can't
overperform
do
an
that?
entire split? How
Bro,
did
he was
do that?
record breaking, bro.
Yo,
Listen,
Austin,
this
you
is
ever heard
the
that?
first-
Overperforming an entire split? Yo, LeBron
man.
overperformed all of 2018. Like, what?
Yo, listen, guys. I think it's just one match. We got to give him some time. before we can actually get an
let him-
accurate
I can't
opinion.
wait
Let
for
him
all
cook,
the-
bro. Let
Thank
him
you,
cook.
Austin. Thank you.
You know, come on. Let's
Let's
relax here,
let's
guys.
give him some
What, Ben? What were you
time.
gonna say,
Give
Ben?
him some
I said-
time here.
Let Ben speak.
I can't wait for all the nuanced Optic takes after every one of these banger series they're going to play over the next 3
Who
weeks.
do they play next? Who do they play next, Ben?
So they have a pretty interesting road. They play Toronto, Rokkr, New York, and FaZe for the rest of Major 3 qualifiers.
2 and 3.
Tough,
2 and 3.
Toronto's
3.
broken right now. I don't know.
Toronto
What?
is
They
broke.
just got Hicksy. Guy's about
Yeah,
to
but they're
cook them.
broken right now.
All right, let's hop into the next one, folks. We got Minnesota Rokkr going up against Seattle, Hydra, Hardpoint, Hotel SD, Fortress Control, Embassy, Hardpoint, Fortress Search and Destroy. Any thoughts on Avitos before we head into the map? Number one, this was
Rokkr
a
is
quick
pissed.
3-0. What happened to Rokkr today?
Listen,
I never pick Rokkr, and every time I do, they get smoked, man. Go ahead, Ben.
we when we saw the map set, we saw
There we go. I think we're back. Are we back?
We're back. Hello.
I think
hear
we're back.
you.
I think we're back, folks. I think we're back.
No, we're back. We're back. We're back.
My Go
yeah,
XLR
we're
program just crashed. I don't know what happened, but I restarted it. So we're
rewind
good.
us back to the beginning of the map, and then we'll start
Yeah,
over.
sure. Apologies. I don't know what happened there. A little bit production issues. Get a let in the chat, but we're back, folks. I was able to restart the
Damn, let
system.
it in chat, my bad.
Let in the chat. Not sure what's going on. But go ahead, Ben. I didn't hear a word anybody just said, by the way.
So listen. So getting back to what I was saying before your audio broke out.
Yep.
I think that listen with this map set, we saw that Seattle had somehow finessed Hydra into here. We were a little confused because they don't ever really play this map. We've heard them talk about how much they don't like it.
Yeah.
So that was definitely a surprise pick. I think Austin was making jokes about the backpack Lamar vetoes or whatever you were saying, Austin. Who's
That's
media right now.
disrespectful.
But I will say, and I think you made that point earlier, is I think the play to be discussed on this map was whatever happened in the end with Cammy.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I didn't want to be that guy, but we got to be that guy. We're going to have to pull up this play from Cammy.
I was doing something. I got to see what happened because I didn't see the end of this map.
First, let's take a listen. Let's listen into Seattle Surge. It was a really close map, so I want to go into the Seattle Surge. Listen to Seattle boy sound.
Timing on rock. One close, one here. Close, backside close, backside close. Hold on. Let's double shot.
I'm pitching front.
I'm hard. Don't shot that. Don't shot that.
One's going low, Cammy.
Stay left back.
Cammy's gonna go P1 or something.
One shot.
Go,
Did he come back onto? He was back on globe. One shot globe cut.
Front ruins on me. Front bridge heady. Front ruins on the heady.
Clears time.
On the heady, nice.
He's close side time. I think he's got rock. He's ran up close probably.
Nice.
One's gonna be in the god rock.
Cammy was what?
Need stunning. I'm gonna look at it.
Yeah, somebody y'all stay back.
Yeah, I will.
Nice.
One shot dead.
Nice.
That was teammate. Nice. I don't know where he's on top.
Out. Dylan, laying down. And open. Got me going to time. 2 on time.
That's 10 seconds.
Okay.
Make sure you get the back. Yeah, I'm playing low right.
I spawned out, guys.
Spawned out, Mac. Okay. I'll run back. I'll get the back. There's nothing low right. They're going through ruins and shit.
What's the front time? A trub, you just kill me.
One's ruins, man. In the back. Back deep push pop. One's in you, guys. Vince. Top bush rock as well, bro.
I'll spawn back here.
Hold on. He's bush rock gonna spawn to yes.
Bush rock dead.
Vince. I'm going on top.
He's close back to time. I'm coming top with you.
Top, weak behind the gym, Vince.
Behind the gym. No more front door.
Front door, Dante, and
How would you guys think about the listening for the Seattle Surge? Not too bad.
Sounded the same.
Sounded pretty good, and they got a lot of energy. It was a really close map, so it was pretty back and forth. I like the routes here from Lamar. Check this out, Austin. How many times you see Lamar with a sub taking a water route, jumping up, fighting two? Look at this guy.
I don't know if I've ever seen that before, but I do know Lamar loves picking the Vaznev up.
Of course,
he'll dive on that.
He'll dive on a Vaznev every time he sees it. He got two. Yeah, he made a play here. That was huge. That was a big play. That's why I highlighted it. Big play from Lamar. He picks up the Vaznev, takes a little swim route. He opens it up for the Seattle Surge, and they're able to lock down spawns for next. But Ben, this is the play that I want to highlight. Take a look at that mini map and take a look at Cammy, that number 4. He sat here to the end of the game, pretty much.
Yeah, I don't know.
We thought his controller died or something. We thought something was wrong, but you can see
he was looking around.
Look at where Bance comes off spawn. Bance ends up running past him here. Look at how far Benjamin Bance is. Cammy's just sitting ruins. Bance is gonna waltz his way through right side. I just don't understand, especially when Seattle get close. He cut it really close.
The High Hands Lounge really fumbled right here. If they would have been on his POV this whole time, it would have been great.
Wait, yeah. What? They had 2 dead.
They had 2 dead. And he's still here, also. He's still here. Look, he's not moving. He's just not going. I don't know what he was doing. I don't know.
He loves that building.
I don't know what was going on. And then finally, he goes to make a play with Bance. But, bro, they win in 5 seconds at this point. You didn't really do yourself any favors. And you're playing the back spawns here. It was just an absolute collapse.
Bro, I got to know what I got to know what the comms were like, bro.
Those 2 kills were actually useless that they got.
I have no idea. They got 2 kills.
They blocked the spawn. And then, dude, he was top broken. If he looked to his left, he would have killed the guy watching front, opened up the front for his team. Wait, what happened, bro?
They just broke the hill.
What happened?
They literally nothing. That's the problem.
No, but like,
you know,
what were the comms like? I gotta know, because what was he looking for?
I have no idea. He was there. He made the good heads up play getting there early, but then he just stayed there for a minute.
Nah, he had Seattle for sure this map. He definitely voted on Seattle.
That's not right, man.
Bro, at least he was positive for my fantasy.
He literally gave up, man. Like,
I mean, listen, it's a do nothing strat, man. You know how we feel about.
Wait, that's not even the do nothing strat, bro. That was the off the papaya strat. Like it's like he didn't know what happened. Like,
maybe he had the under on like himself, 24 deaths, so he wanted to make sure he stayed alive.
Listen, Pat. Sure, whatever you want to say.
I wonder if they called something out weird, like they said someone was on and broken or something. I don't know why he would do that.
Listen, bro, all I'm saying is we were watching it in the watch party, and we were all sitting there. Like, even Octane was watching it. Octane told me to write it down. He was like, Tom, write this down now. And put hyphen Octane next to it, and that's exactly what I did, because we were just really confused. We didn't know what he was doing, and a minute goes by, and Ben, we called it the do nothing. You know
he was nah, it wasn't the do nothing, bro. He was drooling. He was doing something.
Dude,
he was drooling on his controller. Dude, he was licking a doorknob, bro. Like, I don't know what was going on.
And he had 5 seconds in hill?
Listen,
nah, bro, that was unacceptable, bro. What the hell?
Ruins on that map. Those walls are probably like 100 years old.
Wait, hold on. Bance is usually in the call or in the chat.
He was reading the hieroglyphics on the wall of the fucking.
I mean, they're not going to say anything. You can't say anything.
Yeah, but there's no one of the Rokkr in the chat right now, bro. Something's got to be going down in that camp.
Dude.
They're usually always in the chat.
They're not always in the chat. Pat,
Bance is always in the chat.
I will say, like, they're just a manning team, man. They were playing so well in Major 2 and went on a really nice run. Their subs were fine.
Wait. What I tell you, Ben?
Bro,
We got a 0.7 out of Afro and a 0.6 out of Bans today. They were dropping 1.6s at Major 2. I was begging you guys to listen. I'm like, yo, guys, this isn't normal. I promise, this isn't normal. Look at these guys.
Listen, Afro had a bad weekend. Ben played really good. Ben played really good yesterday.
So we had a good weekend at Major 2.
I mean, they were playing decent online before.
I will.
You can't win with Pat, bro.
I don't listen. Hold on. To be fair to Pat, I don't remember exactly what I was saying about the Minnesota Rokkr, but if I was saying the opposite, I will take it back. I will agree with you there, Pat, that for them to replicate what they did, like the 2 subs at Major, it's gonna be difficult, bro. That is not easy. Like they were actually better, different. Bro. They were actually. I agree with Pat.
Every scoreboard I
Bro,
saw.
their aggressive SMG player got deep Kentucky fried this weekend. Like, I don't think it's gonna happen that much. But they are like a little like weekend right now.
But then you got Cammy doing plays like that. Like,
check out the 1v3 here from Mac. Mac's able to find one. Now he's left in a 1v2. He ends up switching lanes on him. He has no idea where he went. Boom. Finds another 2-piece big 1v3 from Mac. They were rolling through in this search and destroy. It's always good to see Seattle winning an S&D because I know this has been a game mode for them that's been a real big struggle. So big plays out of Mac right there. And then we get into the 0-3 round. This is where Seattle work a retake. Afro tried to get aggressive. I don't know if Dante heard him. I don't know if they spotted him. I think maybe Mac might have heard him right there. Or maybe Dante was just looking at it the whole time. But he whips around. Or maybe number 6 some. I don't know what happened there. I feel like Afro, he just got caught out there. I would like to see Afro maybe just play a corner down here instead of trying to go rogue. But he goes down and you can see it's Pred. He works the late flank. They pinch on in. They retake this site. It was pretty clinical out of them. And then we get into the 0-4 round. This was the one round that Minnesota was able to win. And that was because somehow they threw this one away. It's a 3v3 situation. Make that a 3v2. Mac gets some bad timing here. As soon as he turns, he goes down. Attach finds another one. It's Lamar left in the 1v2. And Attach reads it. He's able to find Lamar. He takes him down. And then we hop into the next one. This is where Dante, he's able to find a couple kills. Dante was moving in this one. He was able to find some really nice shots. I'm not even too sure how he was able to do it. They weren't on his screen, but he gets pushed up. He gets a nice angle onto Cammy over in Kitchen. He takes down one, and he takes a little bit of a route through the middle of the map. He's not afraid to make a play. He pushes through Dubs, flanks around Jules, and he's able to find another one here. So just really good plays coming out of Dante. Like that he's staying active on a map and finding some gaps. And then we go to the last round. Check out this strat from Seattle in the last round. They just straight up rush mid here. Not often you see teams just straight out hit out and challenge mid on an offense. So I kind of like the strat from them. They were up 5-1, so they were probably like, fuck it, we could take a risk here and do something weird. And it ended up working out for them. They ended up working some trades. Dylan gets no aim assist through the rails, and they just work a beat plant 2v1 situation. Not much Dylan can do. This was a clinical map for Seattle. And then after this, we go into the control, and Seattle wins 2 offenses on Fortress control and a defense. They end up 3-0ing them on the Fortress control as well. So this series wasn't even close. What do you guys think happened? What do you guys think went wrong?
Well, I was going to say, at least with S&D, this is what happens when finally somebody on Seattle, besides Pred, is moving around on the map. Like, because every time we watch Seattle, the only person that is trying to make a play is Pred. In that map, you saw Sib doing it. You saw Mac doing it. Like, they were just literally, get dead silence, fuck it, I'm going. Mm-hmm. And, like, I feel like that's something they've been missing. They've been hitting a lot of stuff together. I remember before when we were like, yo, how are these guys like 0-12 or 1-12 in S&D? Just, like, at this point, adopt the BO4 strat. Just do something together and sprint at something. And at least in that map, they were making a lot more plays together. They were a lot tighter, and they just like looked a lot more loose and less kind of just like stagnant. So
yeah, no, I definitely think in order to be a championship caliber team, you need players that are able to take risk and are confident to make plays. You have to be an impact on a map, and I think you see that with a lot of teams where you might have good players on a team, but they always play so basic and so fundamentally sound that they're so scared to just do anything else. And they end up getting picked apart by like teams like this that are just able to run around you and just, you know, play around you. And
make some reads on you.
Yeah, make reads, like make something happen. Like, you know, there's a reason why certain players are just super talented and able to make more plays. Like that's how you win events, is by taking risk. And I just feel like there's some teams that don't really do that enough. But There needs to be a balance. You can't just make meathead plays all the time. You need to know when to do it, when not to do it, you know? And that's
it's the Austin Litico, bro. It's like you for first like 20, 30 seconds, you play a pick and you see nothing, and you pop some Betty and you hit a lane.
You know, I actually had a phone call with my boy Lamar, the fellow GA and enforcer, and I've been telling him like, yo, like, listen, I'm gonna give you a little bit of advice. Just start spreading the map a little bit, play for some picks, and I think they did that there.
Damn,
Got
you're
some
giving them
dubs, so-
free advice for free, Austin? For
I'm
free or
trolling.
no?
This guy's fucking trolling, dude.
I said, damn, that's for free too. Because Pat's charging $3 million over 3 years. You're doing it for free.
Nah, they I know they've been going hard in that mode in practice lately, so it's good to see them like actually
after all of the interviews and that Seattle Surge piece that came out on their YouTube that they weren't taking S&D practice seriously. So I'm glad they're actually working on that, you know?
I mean, I don't understand how you don't take it seriously.
Yeah, how do you not take it seriously?
You heard Nameless ask Mac that in the interview, and he's like, "Why? Like, why? Like, why weren't you guys taking it seriously?"
Well,
and Mac was just like, "I don't know. Like, we go into it now 110%." It's just like, well, what the hell were y'all doing before?
It's a hard game mode to take seriously in practice because there's nothing on the line, so people just be doing the most heinous shit.
That's what I was gonna say.
Wait. You put up the money.
Well, yeah. There's a lot of teams that
you
do
can't put
chows
up
like
money,
that.
but like I know even for myself and my team, like S&D practice, it doesn't play the same as matches. There's sometimes you can be the best S&D team in practice and you go to a match and it doesn't translate. I feel like it's hard to like not take it seriously, but play it like a match because the other teams you're playing against sometimes are not doing that. Like you just have to like try your best to play it as like a match for your team.
I'm talking too much about the practice. I'm talking more about like, bro, they were 0-13 or something, right? Like,
I mean, yeah.
Like go back and watch film and like really focus. You know what I mean? Like go back and watch matches and really focus on what the hell's going wrong and what needs to be fixed. You know, which maybe they were doing. Maybe they were doing that, but. Yeah, I can agree with that, Austin. Like S&D scrims were always kind of chalk. They were always a little weird.
They're little fugays for sure.
Little fugays, but yeah, I don't know. They definitely are probably changing up their mindset a little bit after looking at their S&D record, and they look good at S&D today. And then they go into the control and they look even better. I don't know how the hell Minnesota allowed Seattle to win 2 offenses on a Fortress control. It is very rare we see an offense win on Fortress control, let alone 2 of them. So that was just pretty cool to see from Seattle Surge. Minnesota Rokkr, man, they got a lot to work on right now.
They were bad on Fortress control yesterday against New York. Like they played horrible in control this weekend.
I feel like that second map kind of broke them. I feel like once they realized they lost Surge to Surge, like it kind of mentally, like it didn't chalk them, but like in the back of their minds, they were probably like, oh, crap.
Can't be just sprinting to bottom maps with an AR, just full sprinting there. I'm like, dude, these guys are checked.
If I'm one of them and I saw what Cammy did map 1, it would have been chalk.
Okay, but they lost by 10 points. Like they were probably like not too worried, and then they lost to Surge to Seattle. Everyone in the freaking community in the world at this point knows Seattle was on a 10-loss streak. Like once they lost that map, I bet they were probably like mentally a little like checked. Yeah,
no, they definitely were. They were. It's one of those things where they were all thinking it in the back of their heds, but nobody said anything. Like on stage, like in their
they're
heads,
probably
like,
going into the map like, all right, boys, it's all good. It's 1-1, bounce back right here, and then they lost it down 0-2. They're like, oh shit.
No. Like, yeah, nah.
Checks for sure.
But yeah, and then Seattle, they end up just rushing to the front here and just getting kills. Like they just played through art, they played through front. And they just work some trades and work some kills, and they're able to get onto this point, work some ticks, and the lives, they get dwindled down fast. Seattle did a good job stopping clock and just getting kills. Obviously, the subs from Seattle, they're constantly getting pushed up into art, get pushed up into the base, and that's what they did. They just stopped clock, worked kills, and it was easy for them. You can see how much it meant to them, too. It's always funny, because every time Seattle won the map, Sam Phoenix just came out from behind the background. Like, he would just swoop the sponsor sheet away, just swoop it away, and just run in there. Hyped as hell, look at him. Just storming in there. And then here comes Bobble from around the corner, rounding third. Great plays from Seattle Surge. They looked really good today. If you're a Minnesota Rokkr fan, might be a little bit worried. They looked very, very iffy today, man. I'm not too sure what's going on in that camp. But they're going to have to go back, watch this one, and hopefully bounce back in the next one. But congratulations to Seattle Surge. They were able to get the W here today in a quick 3-0, which was a good thing because we had some delays today. So a few 3-0s doesn't hurt. And we're going to take a look at the matches for tomorrow. Any final thoughts on the series, guys?
I mean, Rokkr got to play Optic next. So now that series pretty much is a must-win for them. You don't want to be 0-3 and have to basically run the table against Vegas and Thieves to make it to winner's bracket.
Hey, let's take a look at tomorrow's matches. We got Florida versus New York, Vegas, Toronto, and LA Thieves versus Atlanta FaZe.
User was
Austin.
moved to your channel.
Uh-oh.
Those
finals rematch.
Little rematch here. But let's do some predictions, man. Let's kick it off with the first one. Florida versus the New York Subliners. Man, let me tell you something. Florida has not lucked out with their schedule as a new team. They have a couple hard teams. First, they kicked things off today with FaZe, and now they kick things off tomorrow with the New York Subliners. So personally, I got New York winning this one. I can actually see it going down to the wire. I'm gonna go 3-2, New York Subliners. But Pat, who do you have?
New York 3-0.
Yeah, I don't see this going down to the wire either, Pat.
Yeah.
I don't know what Tom is done.
I don't think Florida's as bad as you guys are making them out to be. I really don't.
I think they're slightly better, but like I don't expect these guys to make a quick turnaround. Like I think New York is gonna stomp them.
All right, Ben, who do you have?
I think New York 3-1. I really want to hope that Florida makes it a little bit deeper in this series, but I don't know, man. It's just to your point, a tough draw, and we'll see maybe a little bit better from them.
Alrighty. And then we got Vegas. I mean, Austin, you don't want to do predictions, do you? I don't think you want to do these.
No, I'm good.
And then we got Vegas going up against the Toronto Ultra. I think Toronto Ultra, I think their camp is completely compromised right now. I don't know what the hell is going on in that camp. I actually couldn't believe the roster change, to be honest with you. So I'm a little thrown off by it. Vegas came off a big win against the Thieves. I'm going to go with Vegas tomorrow. I think they take out Ultra. Ultra's in a slump. I'm going Vegas 3-2 again. 3-2 again. It's going to the last map. Another game 5. Who do you got, Pat?
I disagree with you here, Tom. I think Ultra's still a good team. I just respawn for Legion to me is still questionable. So I'm going to go 3-1 Ultra.
I'm gonna give it to the underdogs this time. The pillow is coming, and it's gonna be a Vegas Legion taking out the Toronto Ultra.
All right, and then Ben, who do you got, brother?
I think they'll get a little bit of a honeymoon with Hexy. I'll say Toronto take it last map.
All right, interesting. And then we got Atlanta FaZe going up against Thieves. I'm gonna go Atlanta FaZe 3-1. It's Thieves online. Thieves are just iffy online. They're way better on LAN. I don't know what happens to these guys between online to LAN, but I just think FaZe is gonna get a pretty comfortable dub tomorrow. I'm gonna go 3-1 FaZe. Who you got, Pat?
3. Yeah, I think 3-1, Tom. I think 3-1 FaZe is probably the best bet. Yeah.
All right, Chris, who do you got?
Yeah, I'd probably say 3-1 FaZe. I think Austin Liticote's gonna break down the defense again.
I like that. And then Ben, who you got?
The problem for Thieves is the weakness in search against FaZe. I think is a huge problem for them in this matchup. And if FaZe take the control, this could be a 3-1. I'm gonna say last map though, just because I want to see this series go last map. It's always entertaining when these two teams play.
And then that's gonna do it for predictions. And then we also got another special guest in here. Is that Eli Standy in the team speak? Is that him?
What's good, you handsome beast?
What's going on, you handsome bastard? What's going on, Eli? How you feeling, bro? What the hell is going on in that camp?
Wait, I got New York 3-1.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Ultra 3-0. You know, like I'm just gonna send good vibes their way. At the end of the day, I feel like they're gonna come crazy. You know, Hixie's probably happy to be on the team. Then I'm gonna do a 3-1 FaZe.
3-1 FaZe. Okay, so that's what I had too. Interesting. Like that, Eli. I like that. Welcome to the flank, Eli. What brings you to the flank today, Eli? Anything you want to spill, or are you not gonna talk anything at all?
I'm not really gonna spill stuff, but I think like people probably want like reasonings why, like the reasonings that I've heard why I got dropped basically, or like benched, I guess I'd say. So I think I'll just talk about it for a little bit, but like I'm not here to like out anyone or like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm still a professional at the end of the day, and you never know, like maybe I could end up back on the team, but I'm benched for now, and I don't know if I'm able to explore opportunities or not. So I guess we're just gonna have to see.
Right. What was the biggest? What was the number one? What was the main reason? Was it the way you were playing? Was it? I don't understand. Was it communication? Was it? I don't know. What was it?
There was like a small. First of all, like all due respect to everyone and the owner, but like dude, that Aches Pat, you were kind of right, bro. I swear that tweet was cap, bro. That was cap, bro. I'm not gonna sit here and bullshit, bro. Like I'm not gonna sit here and bullshit. That shit was just straight cap, dude. That shit sounded horrendous. But I mean,
What-
still
what
respect
tweet?
everyone.
He's talking about the Adam tweet. Is that what we're talking about?
Anyone
Sam?
have the tweet?
Can I get a link to that or something? Yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
Like, he's
put
still
in-
my
put in
owner at the end of the day,
put in
but
my
I feel like
chat.
that shit was cap, bro. Like, I don't know.
I'll put it in the chat. I'll give it a second.
Like, I'm still professional at the end of the day, but like I still get my chance to like say my side of the story. You know what I'm
Of
saying?
course, I think you should be saying your side of it. I mean, you don't want if somebody's spewing something that you don't think is true. I mean, you should be able to say your side as well. You know. Let's take a look at the tweet. Good luck and congrats to Hicksy. Well deserved. No drama or behind the scenes issues.
I think it's well deserved. Like, but like, yeah.
Sometimes a change is just a change. Love Eli and a passionate talent that he brings to the team. This is more a Charlie thing than it is an Eli thing.
Like, I don't know if I fuck with that last part. Like, this is more of a Charlie thing than it is an Eli thing.
Let's just speak on like from
To me,
your
it seemed like an
perspective.
Eli thing.
Yeah.
From your perspective, like why do you think that you got moved to the bench and you got moved to the starting lineup?
Well, like first there was like this internal beef we had for not internal beef, but like a weird situation we had in the camp. But like I got that resolved. It was literally I did nothing wrong. There's just an internal problem that happened for probably like a good week or two, which I didn't absolutely nothing wrong. I was just living my life, being a good person, being a great teammate, and I feel like I got backstabbed in a situation. So that I'm not going to talk about it, but that shit happened. But either way, I'm still a strong person. I let it go by. I was still staying positive. I still treated my teammates with the ultimate, like utmost respect. I was still being a great person, being a great teammate. And then after we lost the major, all right. And then like the reasonings we lost the major, they're just saying like, oh, in S&D, like we play scared, we don't plant the bomb, and like we're just saying that like. We're scared. We don't plant the bomb. We don't do anything on the map. And I'm our bomb carrier. So it just sounded like to me, like right there, I just got outed for never planting the bomb. But like both our S&Ds against LA Thieves and FaZe, we got like 6-0'd, like 6-1'd. Like, and to be fair, like there's probably like, I'm going to be real with myself. There's probably like 1 or 2 rounds I could have actually got the bomb down, you know, but I feel like it wasn't really the best excuse for losing when there's so many other moments that went wrong. And there's so many other moments in Call of Duty, so many small minuscule moments that you fuck up. And then that's what I heard.
You were getting scapegoated.
Maybe slightly, but someone's gonna have to get scapegoated. I feel like on a lot of my teams, like I'm just like a really big playmaker. A lot of my plays are very impactful. So when shit goes wrong, I just feel like I'm always the guy that gets blamed, unlike a lot of teams I'm on. But I feel like I'm strong and I can handle that. And then we move forward. I'm like, we're in S&D practice, and like. Because we just didn't really practice S&D as much, and like, but our situationals were pretty bad.
Why didn't you practice S&D as much?
I mean, some players just felt that like it's not really good to practice S&D against like other pro teams. Like it's just not really it's not really good to do, I guess. Which on all my past teams, I practice S&D like a lot.
Did you play amateurs instead?
Oh yeah, sometimes, but it was very lackluster practice, just because like amateurs kind of like I feel like it's not the same. If that makes sense. Not really the same quality of practice.
I don't want to keep pressing, but so you're saying that your team like isn't, just in general, would you characterize your teams as really not taking search practice seriously?
Yeah, I would say that. Just in my own opinion, like I'm not outing anyone. I just feel like we didn't really take search as serious as it could. And like, yeah, I feel like we have good like default setups and stuff, but like our in-game like mid-round decision making is just very ass, and I just feel like it's just from a lack of reps. Like we just don't play S&D. Like personally as a player, I get better when I play a lot. Like I get better when I grind a game mode. I get better when I know a lot. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like you feel like that too, Tom. Like Pat, like Haggy, when you guys play a lot, like you guys get better in a game mode. Like,
yeah. Some people,
you just learn timings and like route, like little things.
The map more, like you just understand. And fuck, we went in that major and we were getting pissed on in SD. Like shit, dude. Like literally, like Austin, you guys were running all over us in that Asilo, just making plays on us. Like I was. And then I was here and we're playing scared. Like if you go back and rewatch that shit, bro, I was running at top mid. I was flanking fast. I was fucking doing shit, and we were just getting like 2v3'd, like 2v4'd. Like we were just getting clutched on. And it's because our situationals were ass, because I feel like we don't really like call shit in game. And like, and I also heard after the major that like I like my comms get really hectic and I comm too much, which like I never really like. It felt like that, and I've never really like. On past teams, I've never really heard that before, because I'm just like, I like when I talk when I play a lot. Like when I play a lot, I just like to talk. I'm just a big vocal guy in the comms, I feel like. And I feel like it's like one of my strong suits. And I feel like I was kind of like pressured. I felt like I needed to like not talk as much. Like I was kind of being forced to change the way I am as a person.
Yeah, you started kind of like questioning yourself in a way.
But did you hear Optics listening, bro? They were getting gassed for commenting like that.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. If you go back and listen to ours, I feel like it's
who was gassing their comms, Pat? Because we said that they were hectic. We said that their comms were hectic, but they were just frying. So
they were
Chris was gassing it. Chat was gassing.
No one was gassing it. I said I like that
nobody
they have
gassed
energy
it.
as
Nobody
opposed to
gassed
being
it.
dead.
As soon as I said their comms were horrendous, Chris went, "What? They had amazing energy." So I'm just saying.
Oh my god, this guy's annoying.
Dude,
I
yeah,
think-
this guy just be. I don't know what this guy Pat's saying. All I said was Optic. They got a lot of energy, but definitely a little hectic for sure. I think because they were pissing on him so bad, they were just like spewing, bro.
Yo, Vows,
going crazy.
when you edit this and put it up, make sure you raise the volume on all of us so we can hear what everybody said. After.
Yeah, of course, raise it all the way up.
Back on topic. Just as a follow up, Eli, like these issues you're highlighting, and maybe have others you want to discuss, like. Are you saying like a lot of the conversation around this is really post major 2, or did the team ever bring up these issues to you like during preseason, during the major 1 cycle?
Post major 2, I feel like is when I heard the most of it. And like I know Ultra like to have cool, calm, collected comms. Like I love that shit, honestly. But sometimes like I just feel like our directiveness was just not as good as it could be, directing each other on the map. But like I'm not gonna lie, like I do like cool, calm, collected comms. Like it's kind of hard to hear when everyone's like everyone's just saying so much. Like it sounds fucking chaotic as fuck. Like that Optic listening, it was nice, but honestly that shit did sound chaotic. Like I'm not gonna lie.
It was chaotic.
That'll give you what I call the sprints.
Yeah, like
I don't want the
start
sprint.
running.
Yeah, like when you hear that, you're just going and going, maybe too much. Like you're not slowing down when you go.
Some people can play with it. I don't know. I've personally never been too big of a fan of it. I've always thought calm and collected was way better.
I feel like it'd give me the sprints as well.
So were there other reasons that you think you were told, or why you think you were dropped?
I mean, also like in the last match, I feel like I played pretty shit. Like I'm gonna be straight up honest. Like I feel like there's like a few key moments in that last match, which is just me taking accountability for myself. Like there are probably like one or two I feel like key moments that could have went better. Like in the control, I blocked like a P1 spawn and we would have captured B on an offense. But we did have round 5 offense control, which sucked. But we could have got B, and then we probably would have had a better chance of getting A. But I blocked the cage spawn, and I spawned them backstairs. Then we lost B. So that kind of fucked up. And then in the hotel hardpoint, the last map, I pushed out top bed, and then we were calming. They could hit low bed, and then we were calming it. Like we knew a guy could come low bed, and then he just runs up low bed and kills like insight, and then scrap on hill. But they said like basically I should just like chilled in hill and like not pushed out bed when we got 3 down, which I can see, but like I don't know, like so much is going on in the moment. So
yeah, I mean, listen, bro, the last thing you want to do is like ruin confidence in any way, you know? Like, listen, bro, like you said, you're a player that is an impact on a map. Like you make plays, right? And if things aren't going right, like it could look really bad on you, you know? Like I struggled with that sometimes playing. Like I when I played, you know, like I was the type of player to make plays, and if we weren't winning and the plays weren't working,
you know what I mean? Like I get a little creative sometimes. Like I try to catch people off guard, but I'm also like very good at playing in a system when I'm in a system kind of team. Like I'm usually really good at playing in a system and block the spawn, push forward.
Not a system type of team. You think?
No, I think it is. I think it is a system team. Like I definitely think they have we have a system. Like I know when I play with these guys, like we have a system. And there were a few moments where like in the match, like sometimes I feel like my decision making was a little off. Just that match at least versus Boston, I feel like my decision making was a little off. I didn't really do the same shit I do in practice because like I'm not gonna lie, like in practice recently, like I've been playing godlike. Like I was probably like one of our best players on our team. If you go back, if I go back and take like statistics from practice, like I was probably like, if not the best, like one of the best statistically in practice on our team, because I've been frying in practice. Like I've been godlike, and I'm not even gonna sit here and lie about it because I have been. And then in that match, like I was a little sick. Like I had a sickness the last few days, and I feel like I just had a really bad off day. That doesn't happen very often. And then after the match, everyone just fucking stormed out the facility. Everyone stormed out the facility, didn't say anything to me. So I'm just sitting there like, fuck, like I feel like shit. I costed. I type in the group chat like, yo, today's on me, boys. Like this shit won't fucking happen again. Like I know I fucked up. It's a bad day. Like I'll be better the next time. And no response. Nobody says nothing to me. And
Jesus, son.
so I'm just sitting there feeling like shit for the whole day. I wake up the next day, my coaches want a meeting. And I'm like, okay, here we fucking go. I walk in, they just say, yeah, you're going to the fucking bench. And I'm just like, all right, nice. And then they, after they still don't say anything to me, I'm like, all right, boys, like, best of luck. I heard the news. I wish you guys the best. Like, I know you guys will do well because, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like, they're still all great fucking players.
Yeah.
Like, they're still all like great fucking players and a great team. And then they say stuff to me. So. And like also like a week ago, I lost my fucking wallet. Like I literally just bad shit and bad shit.
Terrible week.
It just keeps like just horrible shit. Like the worst things that could happen to me has happened in the last like 1 to 2 weeks, which I feel like maybe it's just a good thing. Like it's just a sign from God, just like making sure I slow down and just regroup myself and just like take some time to focus on myself. You know?
Right.
So,
No, 100%.
Just to understand real quickly, so you
like I literally had I had no fucking wallet for like a week. I had no ID. I couldn't pay for anything for like 2-3 days. Like, then I was sick as fuck.
Bro,
like,
when you lose your wallet, it's
the
miserable.
worst
Not
feeling
only do
ever. You gotta
lose your
re-up everything.
identification.
And now I
you
got
gotta
it,
cancel
but-
your cards.
and I live in
new
Canada.
ones.
Like I have an ID from US. Like it was fucking horrible.
did you lose it in Boston? Did you lose it in Toronto?
Nah, I came back in Toronto. I lost it. And I really don't know how because I feel like I'm just gonna get it back randomly one of these days because it's like I didn't do anything crazy. It's just I was just walking home from my facility one day and then I like came back, didn't even realize I lost it. Woke up the next day. I'm like, where the fuck's my wallet? And I just like cleared out my whole fucking apartment, looked in the facility. I just didn't have it.
No way. One of your teammates stole your wallet to set you up to have a bad week to then get you dropped.
Yeah, which I don't know. I feel like after the major, like it was already in talks, like trying to get me dropped. I feel like with just with the way everything went. I feel like it was already in talks. Like I feel like personally, like I feel like Scrappy and Charlie are just good boys, and I feel like Scrappy just really wanted to play with him. So I feel like he was kind of the guy that kind of set
Who's
everything up,
Charlie?
which-
Sorry, who's Charlie?
Charlie's Hicksy, right? Okay.
Oh,
Which
okay.
nothing against him, you know what I mean? I'm nothing against them. I'm just saying like that's how I imagine it going down, and I feel like Insight and Scrappy became really good boys too. So I was
Why
just
do
kind of
you
the odd man out.
If they wanted to make a change after Major 2, why do you think they waited until after yesterday?
Because people were probably like, nah, like Eli. I feel like other players on the team or like maybe the coaches were probably like, nah, like Eli's good, like he's still doing good. And then,
everyone's like, oh, bad weekend. At
yeah,
the event.
and then I
Like,
come to this match, I lost my wallet, I feel sick as fuck, I'm having a fucking bad week, and then I just get fucking piss slammed, and I make like 1 or 2 crucial decisions that unfortunately costed the series when Beans is literally dropping a 0.5, and we lost it. So it was a pretty fucking bad loss. And then you know what? I mean, they must have just had enough and just said, yeah, like fuck you.
Yeah, they were just.
Osters in the ultra camp.
Yeah, no, definitely, dude. It took us all by surprise, to be honest with you. Like, when I saw it, I was
Beans is a
mind blown.
beast, but yeah.
He's in the chat. He just put a bunch of question marks.
Beans is a beast though. Like he's still good, dude. He just had a bad first match in.
He's catching a stray. Beans caught a stray. He got a little bit of a stray.
unfortunate.
I was definitely a little shocked, Eli, when I heard the news. I mean, you know me, bro. I texted Vinny and I was like, "Yo, Vinny, what the hell is going on? Like, what's going on in that camp? Like, are these guys dumb or dumb?" But Eli, I think it's what you said, right? Focus on yourself now. Like, you have some time to yourself.
Yeah.
Like, focus on your game. Like, don't stop playing. You know, like focus on your game.
I know
focus
I'm
on
still
playing.
a fucking beast. You know, like
Yeah, you're a great
I'm not
player.
letting this shit stop me. Like I'm still walking in that facility and I'm playing there. Like I'm still gonna be right there with them, and I'm gonna be going hard as shit. You know, like
Yeah, I mean, yeah, just do
like, you know
do
what I
whatever
mean?
you gotta do.
Like
you know,
they're still gonna be nasty. They're still probably gonna do good, and like at the end of the day, like best of luck. Like I'm still gonna be there. You know what I'm saying?
And Scrappy said, "I'll take the heat. I got no beef with anyone." That's what Scrappy said in the chat. Listen, Scrappy, fuck you, Scrappy, motherfucker.
Yeah, fuck you, Scrappy.
I don't want to be that guy, but we should probably move on
Yeah, nah, I think
to
well,
the
Standy,
final thing
I
we want to talk about.
Yeah,
What's
I mean,
that?
I didn't
What?
out anyone or anything.
What
Like at the end of the
talking
day,
about?
like
talked about everything.
No,
What
we
was Chris talking
brought
about?
Austin on because he was going to give us some insight about the whole thing that we were talking about, how like pros aren't like taking initiative and like lazy and just not wanting to do stuff.
So I think the first part of that is
yeah.
so
Good call,
during
Chris.
the watch party. I'll do the easy part first. We do the hard part. Easy part is we were talking during the watch party, and
Laggy.
Austin, it seems like, and correct me if I'm wrong, likely you guys and Thieves are going to play at some point next week, post your matchup tomorrow, and try and scrim a bunch of different potential control maps and see if we can get Fortress out here, which I think is inevitable.
Potentially, that hasn't been actually confirmed. That was like just like really like brief talks. But yeah, we need to do something about Fortress Control. Like, come on.
Somebody
That map
needs
needs to
to.
get just really just get rid
But
of the map.
I was just hearing you guys talk about it. Like, I only listened to a little bit of it because I wasn't watching it live. But Like I'm actually back in the chats now. I'm back in those GA chats. So yeah.
GA chat.
I'm back in there. Officially,
shit.
I've been in there for a little bit now. You know.
Who's back?
I did my work from outside of the chat. I got the M4 out of here, but yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to speak on it a little bit and like talk because I feel like you guys are not like in the loop like you have been before. Like you can obviously see from the outside in, but really like as well now that I've played, I feel like this is a different era. I've played in both, and I've been a part of those conversations in both, and it's really like to me, it's like okay, the players shouldn't have to do it, but that's Call of Duty, right? Like we can all just come to terms with that. Like we have to do stuff as players to make the game the most playable as possible. Like that's just what it is.
Yeah.
And I accepted that years ago. But nowadays it's like it's not like that anymore. Like and even just Chris, when you were talking earlier, like, oh, Alex should have just snaked this shit. Like, bro, when people talk about getting better at stuff now, they talk about how to cheese the game rather than actually play the game how it's intended.
It's actually
like my thought process is there is 4 dead, let's push out and be aggressive, and then you're like, we should just snake some shit. It's like, bro, why are we in this era now where it's like, oh, let's S&D, like, nah, screw this, let's just turn on sound equalization and fucking sound whore around the map rather than learn like, okay, as a team we need to do this, X, Y, and Z.
That's
like
cheese.
It's not about playing the game how it's meant to be played and mastering that and being good at Call of Duty. It's now about just how to cheese the fucking game and how can we like break it as much as possible. Like, and it's just so whack. And it's the same thing with GAs. Like, bro, you know how hard it was to get the M4 out of here? How was it that hard to get a gun where we were running 8 of them on the fucking map out of the game?
Yeah.
Like, I don't care if you're the best team in the game or what. Like, my thought process has always been like, bro, my team has been the best in the game with a gun before. Long barrel bar in World War II, for instance. If me and Pierce kept that in there, we probably would have dominated the whole fucking league.
Second best. But...
Okay, we literally chokeslammed you in finals, but sure.
What?
So like I got rid of it because
Yo,
it's
there's
about,
a ring
like,
on my finger. Where'd that come from?
Yeah, but okay, we didn't play that weekend. It's all about like
I was 16.
I feel like you always gotta like try to make the game as good as possible.
100%.
Austin, look
Play
now, like,
and
the,
watch.
the scar and Baz percentage at the major, like it
It's
was like
good.
47,
It's good.
48%.
Bro, and people were telling us, I mean, you can speak on it. People were telling you it was gonna be 4 fucking stars.
I know they were trying to tell me that
Bro,
score, and I'm like, bro.
On this show.
Wait. To
Yeah.
Austin's point, I think the main issue is, and I'm gonna just be blunt as fuck with this: the IQ of the pro player is half of what it used to be, bro. And I'm not talking about game IQ. Just general like IQ of players is half of what it used to be.
It's like some teams.
That's just a fact.
True.
That's just a fact.
The thing is,
The players, bro.
Yo, one at a time,
Players
slow
nowadays
down.
are just dumb, bro.
Teams are
I'm
all
just
looking
gonna
out
call
for
it how I
themselves.
see it.
Here's the thing, though.
I don't think
Austin,
that's true,
my
bro.
whole thing with this take is there are things that as game developers and Activision, whatever, Infinity Ward, they need to go in there and fix. For example, like snaking, like it's kind of something that's hard to avoid, and it
I would
just
agree
needs to,
nowadays.
it needs to get rid of. But there's things that the players obviously need to take in their hands because the developers and the people that make the game, they don't know what like makes a good competitive map, but we obviously do. Even if a map, for example, is even slightly better than like Fortress Control or whatever, it should be played. Until we can find better replacements. The fact that like pros are sitting here and are content with the map pool and haven't even tried making a substitute, let alone tested maps, is fucking bullshit. Because there is no way in hell that anyone is happy with the current map set at all. And there is an alternative at the very least that was played pre like map set release that we tried. It wasn't as bad. I remember
Mercado.
people were playing Mercado.
I tried, bro. I tried with
And
Mercado.
My whole thing is that like I don't understand what happened to the players wanting to make the gaming experience as good as possible. There are things that are unavoidable and are on the devs to like change, but like the players should be trying to make the game actively better for themselves. Like, how are you gonna complain about, oh dude, Fortress Control is miserable, map fucking blows, but when no one's fucking trying to make a new map or like try a new map or anything like that. What?
Well,
like,
then you
what
have
is
the
this whole
players who
point?
think they're good at that map for whatever reason and will vote to keep it in or fight or not even scrim something new. So it's not
But
about it's selfishness. It's literally
But it's
just
also
selfishness.
different though. Like a GA is different because you guys obviously have to come to that agreement. But with like a map pool thing, it's a clear vote. If it's like if it's a majority vote to get it out, I'm sure the devs.
So if
would
it's
listen.
7-5, you're just gonna get it out. Like I feel like that's not an overwhelming majority.
I don't know. I feel like There's
So
no way.
what's
in
overwhelming
hell.
majority? Like 9-3?
We usually do 9-3, which I thought was a good idea because that's 75%.
Right.
But
There's no way in hell that there are 3 even not like less than 9 teams in the league that think that map should stay in the rotation.
I don't think anyone in their right mind thinks that map should be a map, period. However, if they think they're good at it, they'll vote to keep it in. Same thing with M4.
That's
if they
fine.
think they're good with the weapon, they're going to want to keep it in rather than try to make the game better, not only viewing wise, but playing. Because like, bro, if the game's not fun to play, how the hell is it fun to watch?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if I'm not enjoying myself playing the game, how are you going to enjoy watching me play the game?
That's one thing, but also what about, has anyone talked about like trying to push for like more hard points? Like for example, just getting rid of the 3rd game mode, because that's something that I'm sure as the players, if you guys came to an agreement, like hypothetically, you guys could also get the format changed in that aspect as well. Because I'm just
3rd game mode is cheeks.
I don't
so
think
bad,
we've
bro.
had a 3rd game mode forever.
But I think that poses a problem too because I personally say hotel control is manageable.
I agree.
I
Hotel's
think that's
the best
playable.
for sure. But Elasilo is so cruddy, and fucking El Bagger control is insane.
Okay,
that's
but then
what
we
I'm
also
saying.
have maps like Hydro Hardpoint.
Yeah,
How
which is
that
also
a map?
cruddy. Yeah, that's
How
a
is that a
cruddy
map? And then if we have 3 hardpoints, it's probably going to be a most series. It's like, dude, we have problems with both
And
game
El
modes.
Bagger
course, of
hardpoint
course,
is
Even
on that
course.
S&D,
side.
we have Mercado S&D where everyone head back
the
to
house.
the bomb.
Well,
and
here-
if you get the good spawns, you win the map. If you don't,
Here's the
it's
thing.
fuck.
Here's the thing.
Need more
So
maps.
I think obviously those are things that are out of your guys' control, but if you guys can't like get a perfect game, at least try to make marginal improvements. My thing is no one is taking fucking initiative.
Okay,
bro.
but nobody ever has. There's only been a select few people. You want to know another reason why people don't take initiative? Because of the community backlash when you try to get something done. For instance,
I just
bro,
hate hearing you guys talk about how bad this game
Wait,
is.
but the thing is though, Austin, is some of these changes are like overwhelmingly like everyone agrees with it. Like no one fucking not a single person in chat will tell you that they like watching
with
Fortress
some
Control, let
things
alone
yes, with
playing
some
it.
things no. But
Yes,
like,
okay, but
I'm
the
just saying
things
in
that are-
general, like I didn't give a fuck at all if like people hated me for doing GA stuff because I knew they were the right things to do. Same thing with M4, bro. I was getting hate for trying to get the M4 out. How am I getting hate for that?
Yeah,
that makes no damn sense.
I mean, I agree with you.
When it's
There's
like-
just things that are damn near universal that like I feel like the pros should be pushing changes.
but there's
At least trying.
But
But
bro,
there's stuff
these
like the sniper GA, which obviously like to your point, like yeah, I think that might have scared some people this year because the minute that word got out the sniper might get GA'd, fucking every major Call of Duty influencer in the community roasted the pros, so they got pushed back on it for the 2nd year in a row. But yeah, I like what Chris is saying, Austin, is like with this obvious stuff where the pros have an ability to test these maps out and give a recommendation and then actually vote on it. I'm surprised that during the free time, the fucking weeks that we had in between Major 1, which was clear after that event that this map was going to work, no one tried Mercado to see if maybe it was better.
No, we did. And I voted Mercado was better.
I'm not
I got
gonna lie to
outvoted.
you.
After Major 1?
I'm not gonna
No,
lie.
this is like a little bit before it, but it was clear as day that map was better, bro. I knew right away Fortress was literally chalk. There's nothing to talk about on the map.
I'm simply just asking you to spark a conversation here and at least put things up to a vote. For example, in terms of the Fortress Control stuff, put that up to a vote, see what people think about getting rid of the map, or at least very well testing maps. Maybe try to put in some extra work here. I know some teams might not want to do it, but put into some extra work to test some of the other maps, even some of the DLC maps. Not that I think any of them are good right now. For a potential replacement, at least for that map. And then outside of that, with the format change, because we've obviously sparked our talk about that, maybe start another like conversation about potentially either going 3 hard points or hell, even 3 S&Ds. At least for me, it's just the 3rd game mode just needs to go. We haven't had a good one in fucking years since actual Advanced Warfare jetpacks.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But like,
There's I get there are people that are going to be biased. I'm not saying there aren't, but at least put it up to a vote, maybe spark a conversation. If it comes down to maybe a disagreement or a tie, maybe leave it up to the developers, or not the developers, but like the actual Call of Duty League to maybe make a decision. I'm saying start a conversation to push it in a direction that is positive, because at least in terms of the map pool and stuff like that, those are things that the players can actually get changed. It's not about the developers, right? Maybe they can come up with new maps, but I'm talking about in the current base game of like what we have, you guys can push that narrative. There's no shot that you can't tell me you can't.
I don't disagree with you, but you got to also realize there's not a single player in the league who will ever speak up to start something like that.
Well, you're
Besides
there.
maybe
So
a couple.
then
Well, yeah,
try.
I just got back in the chat not too long ago. I literally just said, "All right, fuck it, I'll get back in this shit."
Let us get busy for a little while.
I'm
Let
not
busy.
trying to put all this weight on your shoulders.
I don't want to deal with this shit no more. Like I was at my wits end with it. Like I was like, whatever. Like I'll just play whatever's in front of me. Like it is what it is. Because I was one of the main people for years trying to make the game as good as possible.
Yeah.
And I feel like we did a pretty good job.
There's only so much you could do too.
But like, bro, you know how hard it is to get these pro players to be down to try a new map in a scrim?
Exactly.
Like, bro, it is impossible.
It takes 8 years just to get a response.
Think about Berlin last year. People shut down Berlin so fucking fast.
Yo,
last year. Didn't even
all
get a
I know
chance.
is it's went downhill since I stopped playing because it was easy back then.
Yo, what about XDefiant? Is that what game was that XDefiant have?
Oh, we got multiple. Oh, we got lots, Eli. We got a lot you would love as well. You shop on the night, I can get you a code.
I'm no bullshit.
Austin,
like,
I know
it is damn near impossible to get teams down to scrim. We would be down more than likely because I mean,
Sounds like Thieves is down.
Thieves might be down but like still like there's not a world that I can imagine where some of these maps are worse than like Fortress Control or S&D. Like bro, these things are literally there's no like there's no plays to talk about. Like, what are you talking about? Fortress Control? Damn, you should have got a 2-piece here to break up.
You should have won your break.
Like, bro, like yeah, you should have won the break off. Like, bro, like what am I scrimming this for? Like, I'm not learning anything new. Whereas other maps, like I can always take something away. Like, oh, this P3 we did this and this. We should have done this differently. Like, there's nothing to talk about on the map. And when there's nothing to talk about, it's a terrible fucking map.
Can I, Chris, get your last word?
One last thing. Yeah, one last thing. I'm not trying to put all the weight on your shoulders, but like you specifically being a veteran should rally a couple people that are also veterans. For example, I'm sure even though Sam is a fucking troll, if you talk to Sam, maybe even Clay, like just a couple of these heads on some of these teams and like at least start pushing a conversation to potentially change the map pool in any way, whether it's a small step with getting rid of Fortress Control and trying something else, or even potentially a format change for getting rid of a third game mode. There has to be some sort of positive conversation there that I'm sure you guys could push.
Yeah, one more other question I wanted to ask Austin. Yeah. What's going on with the auto tax sprint stuff? Are people using single tap? Are people using it? Is that GA'd? I mean, like what's going on with that?
It's supposed to all be GA'd. I mean, even the sound setting is. I mean, it's not necessarily GA'd, but bro, it's not allowed on LAN. So like, use your head. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
yeah, right.
But it's
so
just
are people
again,
using it? Because I saw Draws' tweet. Like people are saying that people are using it.
Well, again, so Ben tweeted me earlier saying like we should call out names. So like, here's my problem with that. I know for a fact that some people are using it, and I full-heartedly believe that, but I do not have the proof to like come out and be like, oh, here, look I'm looking at his settings while he's sitting here. You know what I mean? Like I don't have that, but I know people are using it. Same with the sound thing. Like it's just it is what it is.
Yeah.
There's no definitive proof that I could tweet out and be like, see, look. But it's just again speaks to the community nowadays where it's rather than learn how to play Call of Duty how it's intended, we're gonna do whatever we can to cheese the game just to benefit ourselves.
Do you think, Austin, do you think it would be bad if you just completely just change it around and just be like, screw it, you could use it, you could use single tap, and everybody could just throw it on? Do you think that would be bad? Because there's no slide canceling in this game.
I think it's still kind of cheese. I think it makes movement easier. So like, I think something like that, there's a skill gap to it, right? Like if you watch someone like Shotzi tack sprinting around, it's not the same as someone like me tack sprinting around. Right. You know what I mean? There's a movement gap without having that setting off.
All it does in this game, Austin, is it allows you to get away quicker because when you like stop sprinting, you can instantly gain your momentum and go in attack sprint.
No, I know what it does.
That's like the only positive to it.
But you got to agree with what I'm saying though, right? There's a movement gap to being like moving around the map, and that just makes it easier. So it lessens the skill gap, which we already have a low skill gap in a game like this anyways. And it's the same with the sound setting. It's like, bro, it just
I wouldn't say low.
So with the sound setting, obviously it sounded like there was some momentum the week of the event to get it removed. Have you guys had a follow-up conversation about on the league PCs getting it restricted, and what was the response from the league as to
there's apparently no way to enforce it online, even though I think if they did a random check once a day on a random PC, it would scare 90% of the players from avoiding it, because if you got caught with it, you could be banned. And I feel like if that was the case, people would not do it. There's probably also some better ways to check for it. I mean, they're able to disable it on LAN, I guess. So I'm assuming there's some computer techs and wizards out there who could figure something out. But like, bro, why would you use a setting like this? Is my thing though. Why would you use something like that you're not gonna be able to use going to the tournament? Like, cool, you did good online, you're gonna go there and get slammed. Like, what is the point? Are you going to win an event, or are you going to get 7th.
They're going
Like,
to get points online.
Like, what are you playing for, bro?
Yeah, I've looked into
points get you online, get you 8th, then you get 8th at
and then you
champs.
get just the last place money at champs. Cool.
literally
Like, you should be playing to win an event, bro.
I
be a champion.
I agree with you, but like Chris says, the league is so split between shitters and good players, and there's just players that know they're never going to win. So why would they not do it?
I mean, bro, how could you think like that as a
I
competitor?
don't think like
I don't
that.
care if you're on a bad team or not. Like,
I just know there's some doo-doo teams out there. That's all I'm saying.
the only way to like 100% stop people from using it is if they actually had monitor cam, like actual monitor cam.
We have cams on us.
Then how is that not like?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. But even if it was 99% of people not using it and it was one guy, it would make most of the matches better. Like, imagine only one person on a random team was using it. 90% of the matches, nobody's using it. Isn't that better? Like, I would think that's better.
Yeah.
Better.
Like, I just think it's so cheesy. I think over 50% of the league is still using this setting.
Bro, I've been going through so
sad,
many.
bro. That is
I've been
sad.
doing so much. I've been doing so much research online, also on like ways to do it. I tried today. I tried a test where if you go into your sound settings on your PC, like there's a program on your computer called an event viewer, which will actually tell you like when people are fiddling with certain stuff, and like. I found a way to basically track people doing that, but guess what? There's a button on there where you can disable
Clear the logs or something?
You can disable it from logging, so people could disable the log, turn it on, then turn the log back on, and it's just like, oh,
well, you could disable the log, turn the setting on, then turn the log back on, and it would like nothing happened.
Yeah, exactly. And there's no way to know if somebody turned the log off. At least in challengers is impossible to do it in. But
if we can't even do it at the league level, challengers.
The pros have some hope.
And you guys play on controlled hardware, right? You guys all play on PCs. The unfortunate variable here is not everybody uses the same headset combo. Online, like on LAN, you guys use, those are with your headsets, the mix amps they have. So they're able to do some driver stuff on here. But like in order to really like, I guess I'm surprised that there's no real software solution here. I'm still a little skeptical about that. I guess you can go to an extreme and like make the coaches have to be responsible for KBM and like.
But bro, even if they like what I'm saying though, even if they did a random check, like imagine like in the 5-minute break between map 2 and map 3, they're like, "Yo, Austin, we're checking your PC real quick." Yeah. They could go in 2 minutes, no joke, while I'm going to the bathroom and double check that I'm on the setting, and it wouldn't be like, "Oh, I turn it off after every map." Like you don't have no time to do that. Like they could literally go in there and see if you're using the setting. If you are, you're freaking banned. You lost the match.
Yeah, agreed. PC
like,
checks
and who
would be
would risk
an
that?
easy
Who
fix.
would risk that? You're gonna risk your whole career, like on a sound setting?
If it's a registry key, can you just run a script remotely and it would?
No, Austin's right, bro. That's
so. I mean, dude, if any of these Call of Duty players know how to run scripts and do all this shit, then fucking go ahead. But
on their end, they could date. Like if you got admin access to a PC, can you just check the fucking?
You got to be a freak.
If we have an anti experts in the chat, can you just? You can probably check the value of any registry key, right? If you have a script, and I'm sure you can do it remotely. We don't even have to fucking like change Windows.
Listen, bro, we're going on a tangent. I need to know if Ben is going to make this putt.
Yeah, Ben, hit the putt so we can get out of here, Ben.
Let's get it.
Hit the putt. Angle your camera, too. Fix your camera. Your camera's always on. He even moved his camera. Ladies and gentlemen, get your predictions in the chat. I think Ben is actually going wide left in this one. I don't know what
left, yeah.
I had him sinking it yesterday, but I think he's going wide left here today, Pat. Stepping up. He's got his stinky fucking slippers on. Let's see what Benjamin. Oh, he's taking his time. He usually doesn't do this. He's nervous. Oh man, he flips off the camera. No way. Did he hit that? We can barely even see it.
I don't know if he hit that.
Nah, we can't even see it. We can't even see it. It doesn't count. We can't even see it.
Bad camera. Bad camera.
We can't even see it. We can't even see it. We can't even
Bad
see it,
camera
bro.
angle.
Bad camera angle. Hey, bro, you might have missed that.
Whatever,
bro, we got to end the show. I got to take a leak, bro.
All right, man, guys, make sure to like, comment, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Anchor.fm, social to go check out all the artists. We're on GoFo at the Flick on Twitter. Gert's doing a phenomenal job running socials as always. Huge shout out to Slasher. Huge shout out to Standy for hopping on today's show. We had some great special guests today, and as always, man, we'll be back tomorrow. Another watch party, another day, another flank. Take care, brush your hair, and we'll see you guys tomorrow on another episode of the Flank, man. Take it easy.
Thanks, Tom.